I'm that Cyclops guy. I'm pretty sure you can figure out why they call me that, or not. You can find me on all of the socials, including Twitch, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube with that _Cyclops_guy. I'm a variety streamer. I play a ton of different games, everything from Tetris to Grand Theft Auto and everything in between.
Let's do this. Hey everyone, KoimiaX here, dad by day, gamer by night, sometime streamer, aka old man. I give the hot takes here at Garbage In, Garbage Out that nobody has asked for. I am a variety streamer that has been streaming for 13 years now. I've been on every big platform and several small ones that don't exist anymore. If you want the most recent up-to-date information about me, just follow me on Twitter at KoimiaX. I like to collect autographed Funko Pops, football jerseys, and comics.
What's up, losers? Neo-deth here, and welcome to my graveyard. I'm the third host of Garbage In, Garbage Out. We've been doing this for 3 months with all of us together. I've also been streaming the same amount of time. I stream on Twitch and then repost daily on YouTube, so go check those out. Fun little fact about me is I also love Lego. We've been having a blast doing this, communicating with fans, and also talking about gaming and entertainment news from the week.
And we would like to welcome you to
Garbage In, Garbage Out.
You know, even with that extended introduction, I still say that's the cutest intro that we have with the Garbage In, Garbage Out.
Right.
So, welcome to the latest episode of Garbage In, Garbage Out. You can see we are missing one person, you know, the old man doing this at the very beginning. He is going to be coming on pretty soon, but he's having some technical issues because my computer doesn't work.
I mean, when are we not having technical difficulties on this show? It's always somebody, right?
Maybe we should change the name from Garbage In to Garbage Out to the Technical Difficulties Show, and then just start it. You know, always start it with
all glitched. We're all like messed up and everything. Yeah. Stand by.
There we go. We'll just start it with that every single time.
Right.
But yeah. So, how have you been doing this week?
Pretty good. I've had this week off, so it's been a staycation. I've just been streaming and trying to put up content.
Nice. Yeah, it's been kind of a week for me too. It's been one of those kinds of weeks at work, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it always one of those kind of weeks at work?
Oh, yeah. But today is a special episode, which is probably why we're having so many technical issues, because
probably, right?
Usually when we have the biggest episodes, that's when the most stuff goes wrong. But yeah, we actually have a special guest today, and here she is.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
So, tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Borg Queen. I don't do any streaming or anything like that, but what I do is really cool. I use video games and other things like that, video games, tabletop role-playing games, and different things like that to help kids, teach them social skills. I work with kids in hospitals, so it's kind of a respite situation. So for an hour and a half, I get to play a tabletop role-playing game like D&D with kiddos in hospitals so they can get out of whatever situation they're in, kind of get their minds away from whatever they're going through.
That's good. Yep, and we'll definitely be talking a little bit more about that as the show goes on. Again, we're hoping Koimia is able to join us. Looks like he's in the chat here.
Yeah, he said might as well, probably changing it to technical difficulties.
So, but yeah, he'll be on here as quickly as he possibly can. Again, we should just call it technical difficulty.
Hey, every session I do with the kiddo, we do everything remote. So every time, even the best laid plans, always technical difficulties. It doesn't matter what you're doing, who you're working with. It's just gonna happen.
I'll always plan for something bad to go wrong and then fix it on the fly.
Oh,
Isn't that Murphy's Law, as they say?
Yeah. Murphy's Law is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Yep.
KoimiaX says,
Yeah.
yep.
He says working on it.
Okay.
But yep. So usually the way we start the show, we kind of chat a little bit here, and then unfortunately we have some deaths that we have to go over here too. Which it seems like somebody dies like every week, or almost every week.
I mean,
Yeah.
kind of the nature of life.
Well, you know what I mean.
It kind of happens that way there. Yeah.
But like the famous peoples is usually we're not just covering anybody.
Right.
Right. Yeah, imagine
and
if we
it's
did
always
every
the
single
Grim
person in the
Reaper. He's
world.
trying to get that Donald Trump and always misses. We're gonna get him soon.
Oh, we can only hope.
Yes.
I will not say anything. Actually, we know I'm going to say. So, and of course, my green screen decided to mess up here. My wife came in a little before we went live here, and she walked that way, and of course, she knocked the green screen down. And now it's like, for some reason, you can. It's like when your rear view mirror gets knocked when you're driving. It's like no matter what you do, you can't get it back to perfect like it was.
Right where you wanted it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, we have a couple of deaths here. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. Maybe I should throw it up first.
Yes. So I can bring it on screen.
There we go. All right. Yep. The composer for X-Files died. Now we would be playing a little clip of that music, except we'd probably get hit with a copyright.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I'll just try do 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 do.
Perfect.
Still get hit by a copyright.
Yep. I'll be like, what are you talking about? I was just doing. But yeah, Mark Snow, best known for his game-changing composer for the X-Files, died at the age of 78. I'm not sure what he died of, but Snow was a 15-time Emmy nominee, so I mean, he kind of knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
A little bit.
6 of those nominations were for the 200 plus episodes for the X-Files he scored. He also received nominations for TV movies and miniseries, including An American Story, Children of the Dust, Helter Skelter, Oldest Living Confederate Widow Tells All. That's a long title there. And
right.
Something
it's
about
very
Amelia.
compelling.
Yeah. I mean, that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, out of all those, the only one I remember is Helter Skelter, which I want to say was of Charles Manson.
Yes,
Yeah. Yes,
so.
it
Yeah.
was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's him right there. Let's see here. Yeah, while his
Smallville?
Yep.
Smallville and Blue Bloods and wow.
The Ghost Whisperer.
TJ Hooker.
Yeah.
Ghost Whisperer. Let me just say, Ghost Whisperer is one of those. I am super upset about its cancellation because it was like the #1 show on TV on Friday nights, and they just got rid of it. And it's like, how do you cancel the #1 show? My only thought, and they've never confirmed this, my only thought is I wonder if the production got to be too expensive. Because of all the special effects you would have to do on that kind of show. Plus, you have a big star like Jennifer Love Hewitt, who was...
That was also back when we still had like 22, 24 episodes per season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was way more pricier to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now that we've gone to like the 12 per season or 8 sometimes, or 6 if you're fucking Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Netflix. I love Netflix. I love some of their shows, but wow, it's like...
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Episodes.
But then, you have a full episode for one season, and then it comes back for the next season, and you get 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
Or
then
they split seasons in half.
Yeah.
Come on now. Like with the recent shows, it's like there used to be a whole... Like, they split season in half, called it another season, even though it's like a part 2. It just should be part 2. Like,
I mean, like the Stranger Things, the new one for that one is split really stupidly. It comes out in like November. The second half comes out on Christmas, and then it finishes on New Year's. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
And-
couldn't you just release it all?
I know Winona Ryder said that this filming schedule for that was so stupid because she had to film like 6 movies back to back to back to back, and with like almost no break time. And I'm like, is that even legal? Maybe in Hollywood
what they
it
were
is.
saying, like the episodes are gonna be longer, but the like number of episodes is shorter. So
2-hour
it's like
episodes.
it's almost like a movie per episode. So I mean, you're getting the same amount of content. It's just delivered differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was talking about Squid Games, so I like Squid Games, and that's what they did. They split their season in half, right? Okay, and then we're like I think we're on like the second to last episode, but the first season was like, you know, like full 8 episodes, and then this is like, no, I'm like, it's just, in my opinion, it's so that they can make sure they have subscribers for longer. Because people want to.
Well, I mean, they didn't have the way they had that structured. You know, you had season 2 where it wasn't like the full thing,
right?
And then they had to go do more filming. So,
yeah.
Oh, do we have the old man?
Oh,
maybe.
Nope. He's thinking about it. Nope.
I mean, he's in studio.
You can do it.
There
you can do it.
And then... Believe in the heart of the cards.
Goddamn technology.
Yep, I know you're a little behind here, but yep, Koimia, this is Terry, and she did her introduction already, but we will...
I caught it on your Twitch. Okay. So.
Yeah.
I was lurking, as the kids say.
Lurking.
Yes.
That's why when I'm watching neo-deth, it's usually when I'm working, so I'm like working and lurking, and it's like I communicate when I can, right. But I'm usually taking calls, so that's why I'll go like hours without
exclamation lurk is the command that I use to set up a little thing that goes off.
Okay, I forgot that exclamation point lurk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Exclamations are all commands. Shout out, lurks, all that.
Yep.
But yeah,
but you got to get them all set up. It took me a while to get some of those set up. So.
Yeah.
Someone's phone's going off.
Oh. Sorry.
They're calling about your extended warranty.
Most likely.
Either that or it's tech support and they're a little late.
It's the FBI for your comments about Trump.
I didn't.
They'd be calling me.
Yep.
They're calling me first to get a hold of you.
I'm going to get ICE knocking on the door here soon.
They've got
that is a prelude to a story we will have later. But
I can just see that like podcast hosts arrested on the air.
On air, yeah.
That's not the first time that it's happened. I don't think.
No,
either.
I'm sure it's not. It's not.
But it'd be, I don't want to be the first, please.
No.
I'm not big enough for that. We do have one more death, correct?
I just want to say he was referencing a meme that I've seen on Facebook where the Grim Reaper is using that claw game, and he keeps like grabbing celebrities by mistake, going like, I wanted Trump. It's like he was referencing that. He was not making an actual threat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go after the person that made that meme, not me. But yeah, so he had done all this stuff in Limitless. Let's see, he combined decades of experience and encouragement that composers cultivate to trust in themselves, embrace their own unique voice, and learn to rely on their own instincts. And he did so with a humor and self-depreciation that made his wisdom all the more enduring. So, yep, we'll save the controllers up for that one because we have one more, unfortunately.
There we go. Come on, Trump. Ah, fuck. Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, so I've seen that. I've seen that meme a couple of times.
I've seen it for a bunch of them. Betty White.
Yeah.
It's always funny.
I mean, yeah.
And then James Carter, Cathcart. What is his name? James Carter Cathcart. Is that how you say his name? Cathcart? I think.
Cathcart? So. Yeah, I believe so.
The voice of Pokemon's James Meowth Professor Oak, and more has died. He, I think he had cancer, didn't he?
I believe so. I'm not
Maybe.
100% sure. Yes. Following a battle
Okay.
with throat cancer.
Mhm.
Cancer.
Cancel.
Speaking is hard.
Words are hard.
I mean, they are.
Ah, man, that's kind of ironic too. He was the voice of all these characters, and then he passed away from throat cancer.
Right.
That's
The,
interesting.
the one thing that was making him money betrayed him.
Mhm.
Well, that's like the guy that did the voice of what's the Crypt Keeper. The way he got that iconic Crypt Keeper voice was he was smoking like a pack or 2 packs a day, and that's what gave him that iconic voice. But that's also what killed him.
Yeah.
Oop.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in addition to his work on Pokemon, Cathcart provided the English voice for Weevil Underwood in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Do Monsters, and has appeared in other shows such as Kirby, Right Back at Ya, One Piece, and Sonic X. He also is credited on the video game Shadow the Hedgehog. Cathcart did commercial work for a number of well-known brands and was a longtime musician and vocalist. So, I really don't like doing these, but thank you guys for all the years of entertainment, and controllers up for you guys.
Don't have a controller, but this is my mimic dice.
She is totally flexing with that thing.
You beat me on the Switch.
Your
too.
Switch. That beats out your Switch.
Yes, it does.
So, anyway, now that we got the sad stuff out of the way, because that's just how this show always starts. It's always the sad stuff first. But yeah, Terry, so I know you told us a little bit about what you did at the very beginning, but tell us what that really entails.
Okay. Well, first of all, I have more experience than I would like to. Almost 20 years of experience as a counselor therapist. I feel old now. And we're getting old, obviously. But
you have no room to talk.
Look at the white. You're only like 45. Dude.
Hey, do you have your new bifocals on there, Koimiya?
No, those will be in 2 weeks. No, I'll be 45 on Monday.
Yeah, I'll be
43
in a couple weeks, actually.
Yeah.
So
I'll be 45 on Monday.
You're not older than me. So
I'm the young one here. I'm only 41.
Anyway,
that's the young one.
When I first started out, yeah, that's saying something. When I first started out counseling, it was just standard therapy counseling for kiddos, cognitive behavioral. When I first started out doing that, using video games or using any type of game that wasn't standard talk therapy was kind of like not talked, like shied away from. You really didn't do that. In fact, I was thinking back on what, and the first 2 games that I can think I used Club Penguin. I played Club Penguin with kids. This is how long ago that was. That's no longer up. And Pop Tropica. That's no longer up either. But those are the 2 games that I played with kiddos in session to get them to kind of interact with me and talk with me. We'd play those games. And I actually got in trouble by a couple of my supervisors because you're not doing therapy, you're playing on the computer.
Yeah,
so you're not helping
around.
Kids. You're not helping kids, you're playing on the computer. I'm like, no.
I mean, if it's for them to open up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I work, you know. And they would do the exercises with me that I was supposed to do. But then I'm like, okay, then now you can play on the computer and we can actually talk. And they would, while playing on the computer, they would be focused on playing on the computer, not exactly what they were talking with me about. So they would be more open to talk about different things. And so I would do that. I also brought Minecraft into it a lot. I didn't have Minecraft, the game where I could play, but I used that as, tell me how angry you are. Are you a creeper that you're going to blow up? Or, you know, how do you feel? What's going on? And so I had one kiddo that he didn't talk, like wouldn't hardly talk to me at all, but he would talk to me about Minecraft. Like we're talking as a 7-8-year-old didn't talk to hardly anybody, didn't talk really at school, did to his brothers, but not really at school or anything like that, but he would talk to me about Minecraft. So I'm like,
Minecraft, he could go.
He could go talk to me about Marvel superheroes, Minecraft, all those different kinds of things he would talk to me about. So I was
your
able
kids.
to I was able to talk to, and get him to actually talk to me and express how he was feeling using that. And then a few years ago, it was, I guess, 2022. I was lucky enough to get a position where we play D&D, teaching social groups to kiddos. Although this is why I have hence my background of all the stuff and my dice. We would use that and we would use for social games. So the cool things about D&D, and those for you who are in tabletop role-playing games, you can be yourself or you can be somebody completely different. Somebody not like you, somebody who has, and then who's doing something completely different than what you're doing. And you can use that character to express the things that you don't feel you can express. And we as facilitators can use our characters and situations to put the players in situations that are stress tolerant, aggravation, stress, and they can do that with their character. And then they transfer those things that they learn as their character into real life, into their social settings. And it's playing remotely with other kids their age that have some of their same issues that they're having. So not only are we using role-playing games and video games to teach social interaction, because so many kiddos who are playing video games and things like that now, they don't get the best social interaction. They can learn a negative way to interact with other people, not a positive way to interact with other people on the internet. So it's a way of learning that. And then most recently, the last couple of years, I have had the privilege of remoting into hospitals and doing a tabletop role-playing game with kiddo in hospital. So, we do kind of like a weekly session with different hospitals if they have kiddos. It just depends on if there's kiddos that want to play, and we're able to just give them respite, kind of give them a way out of whatever situation they're facing. Some of these kiddos, as you know, in hospitals can be very isolating, especially when the program first started in 2020 during the pandemic. The kiddos were very isolated, right? Because they weren't able to even have their families there. So this was a way that we were able to remote in and do that. I've also done that using Minecraft, having a Minecraft server where the kids can get on and do social interactions on the Minecraft server and do that. So I do a little bit of video gaming, not a whole lot. I do watch a lot of video games. I do watch a lot of Twitch, a lot of Minecraft, a lot of things like that, a lot of D&D related. But I've been a geek nerd for a while. I learned D&D back when I was
even your whole life.
Maybe even my whole life. Yeah. I first learned D&D when I was it was D&D 4E, which was back in.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That tells you. And mostly time when I say D&D 4E, everybody's like, "Ooh, that was the worst version to learn on. It was horrible."
Yes, it was.
But that's the version I learned on. So that's how long ago that's been. Probably early 2000s. I was in grad school, so about the same time I got my degree.
I think I did D&D when it was 3, and it was even worse then. Trying to figure out Thakos, and if you hit the fucking thing, and you needed a big brain to play the game then.
Yeah,
it has come a long way.
It's come a long way, and the feeling and view of what it's like has come a long way. There's not there's still
you don't have that stigmata of
it still does exist some places
or whatever.
Yeah, it still does exist some places, unfortunately, but now they're able to use it in a positive way to help people and reach people that wouldn't have struggled reaching,
Right, but it's more in the masses now, because, you have Critical Role, you have, Stranger Things, where the whole thing is based on D&D, so it's out there more, and it's not as, poo-pooed on or shunned.
I think it's because it's our generation that's kind of in charge of a lot of these things now, and we understand because we grew up with video games. You think about it when you started, you said that they were kind of saying, "Oh, you're you're not helping, you're playing games. But that was also the generation that was like, oh, games are for kids. Games
Right.
can't help, they're just for fun. But now you've got like our generation that grew up with them going like, hey, wait, this helped me when I was getting bullied and I thought about unaliving myself or whatever, and Mario helped me or Minecraft helped me, whatever it was.
Yeah. And using it to teach community with kiddos is important. Like, you can be on this game and you can have a community, and learn social skills and actually apply that to
the main thing
to
is
outside.
social skills, just virtual and
Right.
in person. Like you
Right.
don't get behind your keyboard and pretend you're you can say whatever you want, like we've talked about.
You have to
episode.
really realize, and that's what we work to teach the kids. It's when you're on the computer, when you're playing, like if you're in Minecraft or there's a person behind there. You're going to affect, you have feelings, and your feelings get hurt when somebody else says, there's another person behind there. And we've got we've got generations of kiddos that, I was just talking about this with my husband. Our generation, we've heard, is considered almost the last intelligent generation because we've learned to do stuff, and we have to do stuff like they don't teach cursive in schools anymore. They don't so the kids that grow up just in front of the computer, they don't necessarily have the social skills that we were taught because they didn't have that interaction of
especially with COVID, because that shut down the schools for how long?
It did.
And then think about it, like so many kids
schooling and
well, how many kids were like right in their prime to try and learn and develop the social skills, and now they have
an
to
entire generation, an entire generation. So we have to do something to reach those kiddos. And
it affected both of my kids.
Yeah,
they both did a whole year of homeschooling.
Right.
So,
and this is a way to help those kiddos that need that help. Still need to learn those skills that we kind of take for granted because we didn't grow up completely in front of a computer or as dependent. I love computers. Computers are part of my job, but we need to teach and learn those social skills too.
Right. You have to learn that what you say, like you said, affects the other person. You don't just get to spout off whatever you want just because you're hiding behind a computer.
Yeah.
There is another person say that on the in front of my face.
Yeah.
That's why my wife and we have a certain term for people like that think that they can get away with just saying anything behind a keyboard. We call them CWKs, which stands for cowards with keyboards.
Or keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
That's the one I've heard a lot.
Keyboard warriors. Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
So, but that's really. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah.
What you're doing is phenomenal, and I know. As I was growing up, I was in therapy because I was molested at a young age. So when I would go to the therapist, they would always have like toys or, a sandbox where you're kind of doing the same thing. You're playing with the toys, but you're not focusing on what's going on. And then it gets you to,
and I had that too.
What happened or whatever.
I had that too. I was creative, and I found like there was an Uno card game that was called Mad Dragons. So it was like you talked about anger, and you like again the D&D dragon type thing that came out. So I'd always find those ways. But I did the sand tray, so I'm familiar with when you were talking about doing that and art therapy. And I did a lot of music therapy too, where and I got in trouble for this as well. Because I had a kiddo who was not a kiddo, he was a teen, like 18, 19, 20. But he couldn't verbalize. He could, but he had trouble expressing his emotions, right? Because of the trauma that he had in the past. I worked with a lot of kids with trauma. That was my specialty when I was working in the community. But I got a server, and so I bring up songs. My Chemical Romance. He could express himself through My Chemical, and all those different songs. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but he could express himself that way. So that's how are you feeling today? What song express what you're feeling today? And I kind of got in trouble for that one too, because we were listening to inappropriate songs. So,
I mean, it's not like you were listening to it with like a 6-year-old.
No.
It's not like you were creating the song.
Right,
no,
that too.
It's one of those. My theory is the way you can reach the kid that reaches the kid the best is what you use. If it takes video games, if it takes D&D,
Drawing,
TTRPGs, if it takes drawing, if it takes music, whatever the best way to reach the kiddo is what you're going to use, because otherwise just sitting and tell me how you feel today and writing that down on a notebook, that
Right,
doesn't
and
work. And
kids are super smart, and they're and especially first time they come to see you, they're going to be super nervous, whatever the case may be.
They're going to tell
And
you what they think their
you
parents
walk
want to
into a
hear.
room, like I said, you walk into a room with a bunch of toys, and you're like, oh, look at all this stuff I can play with, and it breaks the ice. And mom steps out. You're not like, oh, I have to cling to mommy, whatever,
right.
So
yeah. And yeah, I was the fun room. I had the candy, and I did slime. I made slime and things like that with him. But the good thing about what I'm doing now, the cool thing, it works with adults too. It works with adults too. It's important for we as gamers and things like that. You guys know the importance of play. Okay? Not too many adults still know the importance of play and how much play can help you express different things, your emotions and things. And if you have a stressful day at work,
relieve stress?
Right. If you have a stressful day at work, what's the best way to, go play a game? If you're having trouble, talking to even adults still have social skills issues, right? So
when I pick up one of these.
Yeah. So even adults have social skills issues. So if you can play a game, if you can, that's one of the reasons why I got into Dungeons and Dragons first as an adult. Why? Because I wasn't Terry. I was, a dwarf cleric or whatever, or a drow or whatever you wanted to be. I was something different. So teaching those skills, those cooperative skills, those learning skills, the things that you have to do to play a game like that, to play a cooperative game, to play video games where you play multiple players, those are skills everybody needs to learn. And those are skills you can learn as an adult. Those are skills you can learn as kids. There's programs that have used role-playing games with people in prison. There's programs that have used role-playing. Yeah. It's used a lot. It is used a lot more in various situations.
I know the Nintendo put some Switch, or not Switches, but the Nintendo Wii. I know they were putting those in retirement homes and stuff to help with mobility, and they were putting them in rehab centers too to help with mobility and can you move your arm this way? And they would give them the Wii bowling and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a layer. Yeah, it was. We actually got one for my uncle back when he was in the nursing home, and he loved it. Not only him, it was a community thing. You got it for him, but everybody played it. So yeah, it's things that are just reaching. And I think you're right, Adam. I think it's because it's our generation now that's spearheading this and saying, hey, look, this actually works. This is actually a positive thing. There's research out there now that proves it works. Scientific papers. I'm big on research. I'm a science nerd. So there's actually papers that prove, what we're saying actually works, and things like this actually works. So.
Well, you were saying that with the music and stuff, you were getting in trouble by having inappropriate songs. Well, a lot of my history, because I was molested at a young age too, and then I had a lot of abuse, various kinds growing up. And then I actually got moved from my hometown to a state, 2 states away, right after my sophomore year. So right in the mix of when you're becoming who you are, developing.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that I actually got through a lot of the anger and the angst with that was I was listening, that happened to come out very shortly after Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, which was probably the most violent record that he's ever put out.
Yeah.
So, of course, my mom's sitting there going I don't want that trash in my house, and that doesn't work. And I was like, you have no idea how this is actually helping. And I'm sitting there going slut, you think I won't choke no whore till your vocal cords don't work in your throat no more? And I was like, everyone's sitting there going wow, this guy's backing up. And I'm it's actually just bringing it to the surface and getting it out.
Yeah, it was a way for you to express your anger. That, I mean, that is, maybe not the best language.
Right.
But you also weren't 5 years old either.
No, I was driving in my car doing it.
And it was also different. You got to make sure too. There's one caveat I'm going to put on it, that the kiddos or whoever is, that they know the difference between game and reality.
Right.
They've got to have that. There's a couple things I won't like. GTA. don't let like a 10-year-old, like, unless because they don't know the difference between, you can't go out there and actually talk to a woman like that on the street, or like, stuff like that. If you steal a car, there's
consequences.
You've got to know, they've got to have that, this is a game, this is reality. And that's part of what we teach is this is happening in the game. This is like, so if your characters get an argument in a game, are you really mad at each other? No, it's your characters getting an argument in a game and things like that. So there are games that I won't recommend. Like, I don't like Roblox. Particularly, that's a whole other situation, because there are people on Roblox that aren't nice to kids, and the kids, I'm gonna be polite in how I say that. There's a bunch of people, I'm gonna say that, on Roblox on different games that aren't nice to kids. So I still believe that parents really got to know what your kids are playing when they're playing it. They got to still have that parent involvement. That's important too. You can't
just let them go.
No. So it's using that in a still responsible way, being a responsible adult, which is more difficult for some people nowadays. I would say that than others.
I mean, it's the same thing with cell phones. Like, you can't just give a 5-year-old a cell phone and go, here, shut up, watch this, or play on this. It messes with their.
Well, a lot of people do use it as a babysitter.
Yeah, they do.
They do,
and that's That's not.
It's sad for this generation that's doing that, because what they're going to grow up like is going to be harder for them to focus unless they've got something that's distracting them, or whatever the case may be.
Or like I was talking earlier, like what happens if, heaven forbid, the grid goes down and we don't have computers anymore? Right. Our generation will survive. We can do pen and paper and that kind of stuff. We know how to do basic math and basic math, enough to buy something at a store, like make change.
I haven't had to do that in so long. I don't know if I could.
I maybe could dig it up, but
we could. It's buried in there somewhere. It hasn't been replaced.
There might be a little bit of smoke coming out.
Dust the cobwebs off. We could do that. Kids nowadays aren't taught that.
Mm-hmm. No.
Kids nowadays
they're taught like a totally weird way.
Or they're not even taught cursive. Kids nowadays, you want to freak a kid out nowadays? Unless it's write something in cursive. Write something in cursive, because they can't read it.
Can't read it.
Yeah.
Put them in a room. Put them in a room with a TV that's analog, and the instructions are in cursive, and tell them if they want to call somebody, give them one of those dial analog phones.
The rotary phones.
They'll sit there and die before they know what to do.
This sounds like an escape room now.
No, Adam, you and I and Rachel did that. We did an 80s escape room that was totally awesome.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I want to go back.
It was fun. But there's people that they can't do that unless their parents are teaching them the basic skills they need. They're not getting that anymore.
Right.
And that's not good.
Hey, Angel, how's it going? Angel just popped into my beam.
Hi, Angel.
So
welcome, Angel. Nice little segue here that we will be doing an interview with him in August.
Oh.
Yep. He's the CEO of Beamstream.gg.
Oh, Beam.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The program that I like using.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, when we were saying with our generation that grew up with it, I was saying about Eminem, but one of the first things that I actually learned when I was a kid was how to use video games as my stress relief. Mm-hmm. And I actually had a teacher who asked me, how is this working for you? And I was like, so when Mario, because this is back when Mario, the little, 16-bit or 8-bit, I was like, that fireball is like something that I'm shooting, and the little mushroom guy is the guy that's pissing me off, you know? And I was like, and Bowser is this person, and that sending him into lava is exactly what I want to do.
And that is, you did that way. That is awesome, Adam, the way that and that's what we're trying to get other kids to know, is that you can do it that way instead of, oh, I really don't like this person, I'm going to go punch them. No,
Right.
How about we don't?
We don't. We can't. We can't do that. We as much as
Right.
we'd like to. Sometimes we can't. But
Sometimes,
it's
most
just
of the time.
most of the time, right? But learning that and the fact that you were able to put that together at a young age means other kids can put that together now, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I say it's what we grew up with. So that's what, our parents used to be like, oh, when we had a dispute, we would have a fist fight and then whoever won, but nobody called the cops. And I'm like, yeah, and how many of you grew up like bloodied and everything?
Yeah,
and
that's
psychological scars now,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if he mouthed off too many times, I popped him. And it was like, that might be why you're so aggressive now.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of going with that though. What are your guys' take on like spanking of kids? We all grew up getting spanked for the most part. At least I know I did. I mean, there's a point where that reinforced. Oh shit! I don't do that again because I don't want that. But nowadays you can't do that, and you limit the things that parents can do, and that's where I think you lose a lot of control with younger kids nowadays. Because they don't have any limitation. They don't know the consequences.
Right.
Yeah. It is, and that is up to the. Like I said, I got spanked when I was younger, and I didn't. It's not like all the time. It's not like every week. But when I did something really super bad, there was a consequence, and
you got a smack on the ass or whatever. It wasn't like you got your ass completely beat.
No.
Yes, there's some that do take it to the extreme, and they shouldn't do that.
Right, exactly.
But like nowadays, it seems like everybody's afraid because CPS is going to get called, or the kid's going to call it on them, or whatever the case may be.
It is.
And it's like we lost control of that. Being able to discipline in a way that shows right from wrong.
Right, and you can see there are ways that you can discipline and show right from wrong without that.
There is,
it's just that do the parents nowadays want to put in the work to do that?
I mean, that's the other thing. Young kids having kids, they don't know how to do what they were gonna do, and now they're trying to teach youngins. So, yeah.
So it's more of the responsibility of the parent. And I used to say a lot when I was helping kiddos, because I only work part-time now. I'm on disability for my cerebral palsy, and I work 10 hours a week because that's all I really have the spoons for is to do all that. But when I used to work full-time doing counseling and I had a full caseload, it was just like, okay, it was more, I would counsel the kids and help the kids, but it was more teaching the parents, this is how you help your kid. I'm not here to be a babysitter for 2 hours. I can't fix your kids in 2 hours and then they're going to be fixed. Like, that's not how that works. You can't drop your kid off, say, okay, fix them, and pick them up an hour later.
They're not a car.
Think their behaviors and things are going to be better, because it's not, So it's more working on.
They've also, you got to talk to the parents also and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what he needs to learn, or whatever the case may be.
Or this is what
you've got to put in the effort.
This is what you need to learn to help the kiddo. Yeah.
Right. You need to speak like this to them, and you will get a better response, or whatever the case may be.
So it's more about that when you're working with kiddos. It's more about you got to teach the parents to do those certain things, like and support kiddos,
and they have to want to, right?
Absolutely.
Again, it's not just dropping them off and they're fixed.
And even the kiddo kind of has to want it a little bit. Even all the techniques that I use and the ways that I'm able to reach out to the kiddos. If kiddo doesn't want to be there, they're like.
I learned that kind of the hard way.
Going back to what I was saying before, the times that I have talked to people that were doing the dolls or toys thing, there were a few of them I went to, and I was just like, nope, I don't want this. This was also when I was older. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I don't want it. Go away. Trying to stay closed off, and then even still, they'd be like, well, just go play with the toys. Then we don't have to talk, and eventually it would break.
Eventually, you would get there. But if you have a kiddo that's super resistant, that know what you're doing, don't want to have any part of it, and it's like, nope, I'm not gonna. Then it's like, okay, this is not going to work. We have to come back to it later when the kiddo is more like, okay.
How's it going?
Hey, Looker. Hey, how goes it, my dudes? Thank you, Looker, for joining us.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was kind of saying I learned that the hard way, because when my mom had me in counseling from a pretty young age, and as I got to know the counselor, it's like I also knew that the counselor was telling my mom what I was saying in there. So then I started telling what I would want her to say. No, not actually telling them what was going on.
Okay, that is not the.
That's not the best.
I'm gonna get on a soapbox if we start down this road. That was the fault of the counselor and not you. So you always have to be upfront. Yes, you've got to share. Okay, but okay, there's some things I have to share with your mom because you're a minor and your mom's adult. But this is what I will share. This is what I won't share, and I'm not going to share it in front of you. I'm not going to share it without you being there. So if I'm going to tell your mom, but you're going to be there with me. So it's building that bond with the kiddo, not just, I'm telling them every single thing word for word. No, there are certain things you have to say because mandated reporting and everything like that.
Right.
And so that's the fault of the counselor. Even when we do the therapy using the role-playing games, we would have, quarterly sessions with the parents. This is what the kiddos are working on, like general sessions of this is what the kiddos are working on. This is, what they've been doing. This how are they improving at home, those kinds of things. But you wouldn't go down and be like, this, they said da 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 da, and
like tattletelling on them, or trying to get them in trouble or whatnot.
You're not going to build the relationship with the kiddo then, or even the adult. Even if you've got an adult that's mandated to go to therapy for whatever reason, you still you have to report, you have to do stuff, but you can be creative on what you say and what you have to say, and you can let them know, hey, this has to be reported. I have to,
Yeah, and that's why I kind of turned to video games, because I was like, if I'll tell him whatever he wants to hear, whatever I want my mom to hear, because I knew it was going to get back to her. So I never really told them very much. But then that's why I kind of got this idea in my head, and I know I've told you this before, where I'm like, oh, you know what? Video games are cheaper and more effective than counseling. It's like, really, in some cases, that might be true, but in most cases, it's not. Go get help when you need it. And I had to learn, it wasn't until my heart issue 10 years ago that I was like, where I literally flatlined on the table. Yeah, you remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Remember how freaked out Rachel was and everything.
Yeah.
So,
well, Adam, I was thinking about this. You and I have known each other for 20 years? Is it close to that? Yeah, it's been a very long time that you and I have known each other. But because I was thinking about that, how long have we actually known each other? But it's been a minute.
Shortly after I heard I got married.
Yeah, I think you've been married a year. I think when we got together. So we've known each other for a minute, and there's been time, and you've grown a lot since I've known you personally, in the fact that you're like, now I can talk more, you've learned the whole, I need to talk about how I feel.
Yeah, I was a pretty immature 23-year-old at that point when you.
I think we all are.
You're 23.
Definitely learning.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun fact: your brain doesn't actually fully develop until after you're 25, at least. So the whole reasoning part of your brain doesn't actually become fully developed till after you're 25. So yeah, 23, everybody's stupid. Don't care.
We do have a couple comments here. We do got Peanut Nutty Buddy 2000 that came in with a smiley face. Thank you for joining us. And then the Looker came back. Mental health is real, and we should normalize it by doing exactly what you guys are doing here. Totally 100% agree with that. Especially in the United States, the way we treat mental health is stick it in a fucking corner and let's forget about it.
Right.
And they've taken so many funds away from that, and which has caused, I believe, the volatile shootings and whatnot, because we don't deal with mental health. We don't try and help the people when we should be. We've cut all the funding for that. If you had that funding, you could have stopped some of that. You could have seen the signs. You could have talked. They could have talked it out. Whatever.
Well, a lot of times people did see the signs and nothing was done.
Right.
Right.
You don't have anywhere to send them. So
it's basically like looking at the stove, going like, "Oh, the stove's on fire. Let's watch TV." you know?
Pretty much. And he comes back openly having conversations about it by doing it. So by doing so, it normalizes the stigma behind it. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the whole reason why I'm here, is you reach people how they need to be reached, whether it's through video games, whether it's through role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, different things. Using those different areas will reach more people that might have not. Like, Adam, if you had come to a counseling session and be like, okay, we're going to talk about the stuff that you want to talk about, but we're also going to play this video game too, you would have probably been a little bit more receptive to situations and things and be able to work through things, because that's what spoke to you. If you find that thing, if you don't do the traditional, you find the thing that speaks to the person, then more people are going to, opt into, hey, maybe I will talk to somebody about this because they're cool and they get what I get and I can do it this way and not just sitting in a room, in a chair.
Laying on a couch while they take notes. That's the stereotypical, when you think of psychiatrist.
Well, that's kind of what it was like when I was a kid. I was just sitting there. I was on this couch. I wasn't laying down, but I was on this couch. He was sitting there and like, so how have you been feeling for the last week? So have you felt like this? And it was like, I felt like it was like a Diane Sawyer like interview instead of actually like a comfortable area.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your parents.
There are things that you have to discuss like that, but it's the manner in which that you're able to do it. If you're able to do something that's more creative and really reach what that kiddo or that person, no matter how old you are, is interested in, then that's how they're going to be vested. Oh, I like this person because, they like this, or they get me here, or they understand this. I've never met someone who can talk, this video game with me about that video game, or this, Marvel characters. I always said I was, a 20-something, 30-something female white woman, but I could talk Marvel with the best, 12-year-old boy ever. So, I could talk Marvel with the best of them because that was part of what I did. I learned what the kiddos I was I became a geek. I didn't say I became a geek. I was always kind of a geek, but
you brought it out more to help
I was
others.
Able to use my geekdom. Exactly. I was able to use my geekdom.
You used your geekdom for
I
the
do.
good.
Geekdom for good.
Yes, absolutely. And
Viva la resistance.
and that's what, using the video games and using role-playing games and that's where I believe you're right, Adam, in that our generation were more comfortable with being geeks and dorks and nerds and things like that.
Yes and no. Growing
up,
always
nowadays
it was
as
very
adults
shunned on to be a nerd and whatnot. It wasn't yet till you got into your 20s and whatnot. And you embraced it more. You're like, all right, let's go. And then also society changed, and now it's more. And I think not shunned.
Right. I think it's because we changed society because we got old enough to do that. I think that's what Adam was trying to say is we got old enough to make that more acceptable.
It became, the standard. Like Marvel movies started coming out. People started going to see them so they could get on our level and I've been reading this forever. Let me give you a little breakdown on, his whole backstory and everything. And then you're having a good conversation, and then they go see the movie or whatever. And then, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go get the comics. You're feeding into it or whatever.
I like the comics and the movies have grown up with us. It's like, because if you were like, when we were kids, if you were like, oh, I'm going to go see the new, comic book movie, whatever it was, you'd be like, oh, that's just going to be stupid. Now it's like, look, they're like $billion franchises. And for the most part, I mean, let's be honest, Marvel's been on a kind of slope, but for the most part, when you look at but when you look at like 5 to 7 movies that have been not good, but you look at like ever since 2010 when they started, or 2008 when they started with Iron Man, they still have a pretty decent track record
Right.
now. And that means that those stories grew up with us. And it was actually Blade that I think was the first one that really kicked it off
with
to say,
Wesley
hey,
Snipes.
these comic book movies aren't just for kids. They can be good. They can have a deep story, and they can be cheesy at the same time. Because, I mean, him grabbing his sunglasses out of the air at the very end, let's admit, that was probably the cheesiest thing, but we loved it. You know? So,
I mean, it's also, again, that camaraderie and your other people. Like, I went and saw the new Superman on Thursday, and I'm like, I want to go see it with a bunch of people, because there was other showings where there was not as many people. I'm like, I want to go see it with my people. I want to see it. You know, we're going to clap at the beginning. We're going to clap at the end. We're going to cheer. You know, all that. Even though that movie, we didn't have it, just because that movie wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but that's just my opinions. But like, that's what I wanted. I wanted, you know, when you go to see Spider-Man with everybody, and you know, the new Spider-Man pops on screen, everybody's fucking cheering. You know, I love that energy of we're all together on this, and we know what's going on. Or, you know, they have this little itty bitty Easter egg that only people that read the comics would know, and everybody fucking cheers.
Yeah. That's what happened when we saw the new Spider-Man, or the older Spider-Man. What is that? No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, remember when MJ went to fall, and then Andrew Garfield Spider-Man went to catch her, and they had that little glimpse of Gwen Stacy. It's like, I knew what was going to happen. We were all like, she's not going to die, but we're all like, yeah, but we all remember what happened last time.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
he got his redemption arc. He pulled it off this time.
And it's like at the very end, we're like, come on! It's like, we all know she was going to be fine because she signed on for more Marvel movies, but we're like, like Rachel and I were literally like grabbing each other, like okay, you can let go now. You know? Like,
right. Looker comes back, finding common ground through mental ventures. Yes.
Mutual ventures,
Mutual ventures.
Yeah. It was,
but yes.
Yeah, awesome. It's like, Adam, when I took you and Rachel to see what Dungeons and Dragons, you're like, I don't know anything about this, but this is cool. So what was I doing the entire time? That's this. That's this. Like, that was this. This is a mimic. That is this. This is. And you were like,
this is referencing this, and we're like, oh, now it's cool.
Doing this.
Right.
The entire time.
Was that the No Honor Among Thieves movie? Or my wife and I watched that, and after I got done, I'm like, now I want to go play Baldur's Gate. It's like, Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
And
it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised by that movie.
I thought it was very, very cute. I liked
it. It was a lot better than the Marlon Wayans movie.
I had a bad taste in my mouth from the first one.
The reason why it was cute is because it didn't take itself seriously.
Right.
Like that one did. Yeah.
And the new one
can't.
Yeah.
That makes it so much better. And Looker comes back. Does Borg Queen stream?
No, I do not.
No,
unfortunately, it takes a lot to stream and do what y'all do, and
it takes a lot for us too.
We were just discussing that. I have thought about it, but I don't think I'm good enough at the video games that I play, and really
you don't have to be good under the game.
I know. It's just
you're good at the talking part.
Keeping
that's
the conversation going
that's
by
the
yourself.
Part that matters. So it's not the games that we play;
right.
It's the talking to, keeping your fans entertained and engaged, and you know that's what really matters.
Right. You should hear neo-deth when he's playing Magic: The Gathering. He's entertaining, but it's like, probably shouldn't have the kids around.
That's where a lot of my anger, and I still have anger issues, you know, from a lot of my, you know, anger and frustration issues.
Yeah.
But like that game just brings them out instantaneously.
I have to turn him down sometimes because I'm watching him while I'm working, and I can hear him in the back, and I'm like, thank you for calling member services, and I'm hearing, God fucking. Okay, better turn this down
every
here.
swear under the world.
Yeah, but the whole, you know, me keeping an audience and keeping that going, and you know, or even
it is draining. Period. Like it's just getting on stream. You would think that it's just super easy. You get on there, you do a little dance for the people, and you get on. No, it is draining.
Right,
it's easy for the first month, and then it's like, really more.
It's kind of like what our whole theme of this show is, though, the garbage in, garbage out. You get what you put in,
Mhm.
you get out for it, you know. So it's
Right.
like these two, they do their content and they edit their clips and all of that shit, and I just am like, whatever it is, it's done, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, they
I would.
definitely are more serious
I
about
don't
it
know
than
if
I
I
am.
could handle the comment the troll comments either. I don't know if I don't know
I
if
mean,
my
that's why you have the
skin
ban
is thick.
hammer, you have
Skin
bots,
is thick.
you
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, the other thing, you know, I always say with the wife, because she's kind of doing content on TikTok now, and she's like, well, I don't want to get, you know, bad comments, but I'm like, you know, if they keep showing up in your comments on content, that means they have to watch your content to make said comments. So
Right.
they're actually feeding the algorithm for you and helping
Right.
you,
You
and then
are getting
you
views.
come back and kill them with fucking kindness, or
Mhm.
come back with
Right.
some silly
Right.
remark. Like I've gotten a couple remarks on my YouTubes and I'm like, what the hell are they trying to say? Or somebody was trying to like do some bank scamming. I'm like, oh well, you should go talk to a financial advisor. And I'm like, and then
Yeah.
deleted the comment after a couple days. I'm like, that's just what you got to do. Because yeah, you're gonna have the keyboard warriors or the bots
Mm.
out there. You're gonna have all that, but you
Yeah.
can get through it.
I just don't know if I can be interesting enough for 2 hours for people to want to watch me.
I mean, you're doing it right now. This
Right.
is it.
Yeah, you've already been going.
So you know,
I have y'all to play off of though. It's not
right,
just me.
and that
It's
is a
y'all.
lot of
So.
fun. And you can do like shows like this. You can do shows where it's just not just yourself. You can have your husband, whatever, you know, somebody else with you.
Mm.
You know, it's something I would consider because I think you're doing a fantastic job. You know, doing what
Stealing
you
Well,
my
do.
thank
word.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
I
that's why
appreciate
like
that.
my wife doesn't necessarily like to stream. She doesn't like being on camera, but she'll show up on my streams a lot of times. And that's why she like when
My
I'm
wife
playing a
too.
horror game, she'll just suddenly pop up, and I'm like, "That's the most entertaining stream because I'm playing a horror game. I'm really into it." And all of a sudden, I feel this thing on on my shoulder. It's like I don't know if you've seen me on my streams, but I have almost jumped out of this chair a few times, like knocked a few things down, going like,
Yeah.
"Don't do that!"
I would say that Rachel, yeah, she's probably not noticing what you're doing so much as, hey, I'm gonna join Adam, and then like, yeah,
And
she
she
doesn't realize
because
you're so into it. Yeah,
she can see what's happening on screen, but what's happening on screen doesn't always translate when you can't hear it.
right.
She'll be like,
Or
"Hey, I'm
they're
gonna
on
go."
a lag. They're on delay, so trying to chat or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
The looker comes back here. Dingy and I co-stream 90% of the time, and that's the dynamic
Dynamic.
that works really well for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Looker and Dingy that do the DNL podcast that are friends of ours, and we may be joining them this coming week. Not 100% sure on that yet. We need
I
to
know.
finalize that. It's mostly up to the old man up here because he's the one that needs to come on. So as soon as he says yes, the rest of us will probably
I'm
say
on
yes.
vacation. On vacation this entire week, so I plan on getting some good streaming time in.
Good friends, cough, cough.
Going to be doing
That's a fan.
going to be trying to do a show with my younger kid.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
So,
But yeah, it's totally up to you there, Koimiya, on if we go on the show or not. So I'm putting that on you.
hey, I don't care. You know, I'm just give me a date and time.
So then, okay, then look for us on
PC
Monday on the DNL podcast.
My PC isn't resetting, and
Give him a date and time, and he'll set the next update for his computer.
There you go. Oops, it updated again. I don't know how
Right.
that happened.
I
Yeah.
can't make it, guys.
Sorry.
But the Looker does do, as you can see there, he does do D&D. He does D&D streaming through here on Wednesdays with his group. He just started up his own campaign this last Wednesday. Like before, he's very new to D&D, so he just got into D. He just finished his first campaign like playing in it. And now this is going to be the first campaign that he's actually DMing.
Wow. And he's doing it on stream?
Yes, he's doing on stream. He has a story all set up. He's got
bless you, because if that's the first time you're DMing, you got some cojones, dude. I'm gonna tell you.
The looker is a go-getter.
That's something. I'm sure you'll do great, but only that takes a lot. That takes a lot.
I know he asked me if I wanted to join his campaign, and I'm like, I can't because it doesn't fit in my time slot because I need to get to sleep and get to work on time. But I would have.
Your on time is like 45 minutes early, dude.
Yeah, but I need some sleep, and I created my own homeroom, designed my own maps and everything.
Well, that's part of the fun part is designing your own maps and stuff. And
right,
I have to design my own campaign for when I play with my kiddos too, and that's the fun.
I was just about to ask, so what programs do you use to do that?
I like using Owlbear to do the actual maps and things. And you can actually place the tokens. Because if we're doing
it runs the game as it's
designed. You have to do it. It's basically D&D Beyond has a combat system that they use. I also use a lot of Chat GPT just if I'm coming up with homebrews to come up with interesting monsters and characters and stories. One of my friends created a Mother Goose as the main boss, so I created a whole nursery rhyme Mother Goose for level 20 characters that I ran with we did a one shot with 4 kids. I ran for 3 hours, and it was
that's cool.
Humpty Dumpty was one of them, and Little Bo Peep and her sheep were demonic, and it was it was a whole thing. So
are you sure this was D&D and not like Alice Madness Returns kind of thing?
Right.
A sigil of 3D programming, that's a new thing. The sigil that was that's relatively new.
So he basically makes designs. Everything sigil is a 3D program
and do D&D Beyond. I believe that I don't think that when I was doing the groups that sigil wasn't a thing yet. I don't think they had just started doing the basic D&D gaming and stuff. But I like, and I use a lot of. I have. Okay, this is my setup. Okay, so I help the kids do character naming. So this is how they name their characters. And OBS is a fun thing, right? Love OBS. So we have opening questions. This is the Great Garganoff. He's one of the main characters. So it's easy for the kiddos to see. When I'm talking about a character, I have a screenshot of and
you've already got it set up to stream.
You might as well
got everything.
Basically, I'm streaming.
I think I need you to help me on some of that because that was
honestly
flowing so well.
This is my husband. He's like a techno geek. I love him. He does all the stuff for me.
Does he take requests and commissions?
Because actually, my setup is I have a Yamaha for my audio. I have a Stream Deck. Okay, I have OBS set up here. I have 3 monitors, and I have my Samsung camera with lights. Yeah, with my with LEDs facing at me. So when I do my games, it's basically live streaming to kiddos. I just don't know that. I'm good with kiddos. I just don't know if I'm good with.
Do you have one of these fancy Stream Decks, or do you have one like theirs that's old and weird?
No, I have
yours is old and weird. Mine is new.
I have. I think we got it a year ago. It was on sale. Like the Stream Deck, Amazon was having a sale, so snapped it up.
Yep.
I've got the Stream Deck Mini.
Mine's got the dials, so I can do my volumes and turn on my lights and everything.
Yeah, mine doesn't have that.
Nope, I just have the Stream Deck Plus. Yeah, but we got all that kind of stuff. So he is the one that set me up with all this. I just learned how to use it basically. But yeah, I guess when I do my games, I am kind of live streaming to the kiddos at the time for an hour and a half. But then again, I'm playing with kiddos and different people. So I don't know. It's just
you just got to get a dedicated group, and then you could do it.
I know.
I'm sure people. I would love to see that Humpty Dumpty or
I'd have to
Nursery
find that
rhyme
one again.
that would be a
like
lot of
2
fun.
or 3 years ago. I'd have to find that one again because we had character. I think I might have. It used to be on my OBS, but I got so many on here that I had to get rid of one. But we had created and ChatGPT is what I used to create all my images because it's awesome, right?
That's how I got my background right here.
Yeah.
ChatGPT. I've been starting to
Right.
use more of AI to get because I know what I want and I can kind of tell it that, and it can generate it, but I can't draw that.
No. So yeah,
Mine would be
so
a
that's
stick figure, just going yay.
Right.
You know?
It's me, yay!
Yeah, it was a level 20 that I created just for they wanted to do a level 21 shot and they came in with level 20 characters. So like, yeah, it was pretty, but yeah, did that for the company that I worked for at the time. So yeah.
Okay.
But
I
I mean,
did.
I didn't even know that we could run our OBS through here and still use our overlays and stuff.
I just have my OBS on because my camera's inverted, so I have to have OBS. Otherwise, I'd be upside down to y'all because it's hanging
Right.
from. So I had to, and it just let me. What I did
How
was,
did you bring that? I'm curious. How did you bring our StreamYard into OBS? Or
I didn't. I just chose OBS as my camera. So I'm using my I'm using OBS.
I didn't
right now,
even
so
know that. So you use camera as
yeah, it was like
virtual camera.
Yeah, it picked up
OBS
my OBS
virtual camera.
I used OBS virtual camera, and that's how I can do.
Look, I did not know that. I just
didn't know.
learned something.
The more you know, right? The more you know.
All right.
So yeah,
that's
so it's all
perfect.
set. It's all set up in my OBS, and my Stream Deck is linked to my
Right.
OBS.
I didn't know I could bring on my OBS camera and it would,
Oh yeah, this is this. Like I said, my camera's inverted. It's hanging above me, so it's inverted. So otherwise, I'd be upside down to everyone if I wasn't using my OBS.
Okay.
So we just learned something, and
Clever
you're the
Borg
guest.
Queen, yes.
It's not me. It's my full credit goes to my husband there.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I had asked. I had in communicating with Angel, I had sent him a message, asking about that Beacon Max and integrating with Beam, and he said that's actually. He said it's actually not integrating yet, and he goes, and that's being worked on. He's like, there is a way to do it, but he's like, I don't know how to do it. He's like, you'd have to ask, and he gave me another guy's name and included him on the email, and I haven't seen a response yet on that, but
yeah.
Awesome. So also, I got to ask you, Terry. So with you working with the kids and using how did you? I mean, aside from just deciding that that's how you got into it, how did you make that your specialty, so to speak? Is that just something like when you got into it, you decided, hey, let's work with this, or is it something you came to gradually?
Well, no, actually,
I mean, eventually
like I said,
you had to get away from like them saying, "Oh, you're just fucking around on the computer."
Right. No, I was fortunate that a company already existed that was doing this, and I just applied and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "So more companies like this are they're out there." So they're because it's becoming popular to do that. There are more companies and things doing this. So I was able to look at. I actually volunteered for them because they were training other therapists how to do this, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. I was already on disability at the time, and I'm like, I can't go back to a 40-hour work week because physically I couldn't do that, and I would lose, my source of income. So, because I'm only allowed to work a certain amount of hours a week,
right,
before the government punishes me. So
right.
But
you're doing good work when you do work.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
So I was able to find there are various companies out there that they do this now. They're training other therapists to do. This is actually becoming a field with its own training now.
So one thing I should ask though, because my wife and I both have ADHD. Is it harder? Is it easier to use this kind of stuff and get through to people with ADHD, or is it easier? Is it because I know I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I've heard people with ADHD you really got to think of them as being 3 years behind their actual age.
Well, it's just it's helping y'all. You mean is it easier to do like a virtual and?
Is it
through
easier to do
games and things.
virtual, or is it easier to kind of get their mind? Because, like, I know I've talked to you, and I've talked to you about, like, some of the trauma that I've gone through. And a few people that I've talked to have said, you know, your ADHD might have actually helped you through a lot of that trauma, because it made it that, oh, this is so horrible. This is so horrible. Ooh, something shiny.
Yeah, you were able
know?
you were able to compartmentalize that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, like, you know, you get their trauma, and it's like, oh, video game.
With a lot of neuro-spicy kids. I call them neuro-spicy, ADHD, autism. Neuro-spicy kids. And it really, like, again, with teaching them the social skills, and like, they can focus on this. Now, you got to be careful, because you don't know when you're running a game, if they're over there playing. I've had kids, are you listening to me, or are you over there watching a YouTube video while we're in session right now? So,
right.
And it's one of those, I can tell when you're not listening to me, and the game mechanic of D&D is really cool with that, is if you can tell they're not listening, it comes up their turn and they have no idea what's going on in the game, and it's their turn to do something. If they're actively involved in the game and involved in the storyline and things like that, they're going to pay attention, because Adam, when you super focus on something, you are in it. When you hyper focus, you are in it, right? So if you make the story good enough that they are in it, then yeah. But you also tell when they're not paying attention, because they miss their turn, they have no idea what's going on in the game. But I've also had some kiddos that had to fidget, so they're like, yeah, I'm also crocheting while I'm playing, or I'm, doing something else with the hands while I'm playing. As long as you can pay attention to the storyline and what's going on and learn the skills that I'm trying to teach through this, then we're good.
That's kind of like what I do at work, is I will put on an audiobook, and I will, like, automate myself. I'm going through the phases of what my work is, but I'm up here in my book, and I get more productivity that way when I'm at work.
Because the ADHD brain has to focus on multiple things, like, it's scattered because it wants to focus on multiple things at once. So if you're like, okay,
I wonder if I could get a prescription to get them to make sure I could do that.
Isn't that an accommodation?
Hey, it could be as long as the Americans with Disabilities Act stays a thing, and Disability Support Services stay a thing, which don't get me on that soapbox, please, because I would be here for another 3 hours talking about how that could probably go away because of somebody who's in the White House.
Yeah.
We just call Agent Orange.
We don't fucking throw punch. We don't sugarcoat shit here. Fuck that piece of shit.
Yeah, because of that whole. To me, that's one of the next things that's probably going to disappear, because the Americans with Disabilities Act only came around in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We were alive. I was 10 years old when that thing got signed. So, or 8.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't believe in any sort of, any of that,
And the whole don't even get me started on DEI or anything like that. Yeah.
No, this will become a whole different show at that point.
we can bring you back if you'd like to talk about that stuff.
But that would not be appropriate for this show, particularly right now. But yeah. So I completely tangent. Woo.
We do that all the time.
We get off on tangents.
Shiny. We squirreled. We squirreled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just wondering though if you have to kind of tackle it a different way with people with ADHD, because like with me, like I said, with all the stuff that I went through, video games were the one thing I could hyper focus on. A lot of times my mom would come home and I had like a stack of homework to do, and she was like, "Why are you playing the game instead of doing your homework?" I'm like, because this is what's getting the aggression out. I solve a problem in the game. I'd be like, I solve a problem in the game and it's instant gratification because I can progress to the next part. If I solve a problem on a piece of paper, nothing happens,
Unless your homework is a video game, which are starting to do that now too. Like the educational video games, they're really starting to work with that. But yeah, it's just, again, it depends on the person, I may have 4 or 5 kiddos in a session and they all have their different unique little things that they have to do, but that's okay. Like, it's very individualized, and you've got to be that way. Mm-hmm. You've got to be.
So, but yeah, that's It's been a lot of fun learning about a lot of this. I know I've talked to you about certain things before, but I didn't know about it like really in depth.
I mean, I feel like you and me, Cyclops, we're kind of the same on that, and I didn't realize that, the hyperfixation. I didn't believe that, I still, when I was growing up, I also had to take what they called Silert at the time. It was, to make it so that I could focus at school. And, I eventually thought I grew out of it, but I guess I just learned to cope.
Fun fact, do you like drinking caffeine?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay. The ADHD brain. Okay. The reason why you're all over the place is because it's trying to find something to stimulate itself. So what I used to tell a parent. Fun fact, and I'm not the one that came up with this. I learned this a long time ago, land far, far away. But does a kiddo actually have ADHD? Give them caffeine. Does that help them focus? If a Mountain Dew helps them focus and really get in on something, or if they feel better once they drink a highly caffeinated thing, then they might benefit from some medication or something, or you might want to get them tested for a diagnosis of this nature, because your brain is actually missing that chemical.
The dopamine.
The chemical in your brain it's missing that. It needs stimulation. So that's why I was like, if you're like, I gotta have my caffeine and it helps me focus, like it calms me down, it centers me, then yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was a kid. Like a lot of other kids around me would drink Mountain Dew and they would get super hyper, and then they'd be like, get the jitters and everything. But like I would drink a Mountain Dew and I was either
make you feel better.
I would feel better, I could focus, or if I was just drinking it because I wanted a Mountain Dew, then I was going to sleep. I mean, I would literally sit there and be like, they're like, wait, didn't you just drink a whole 24-ounce of Mountain Dew? I'm like, yep. Yeah, it was actually Rachel's aunt, who, actually I learned it in school, but then her aunt actually told Rachel one day, when Rachel was having trouble focusing and everything, she was like, here, let's get you a Mountain Dew. And Rachel was like, wait, what are you talking about? And her aunt said, you've got ADHD, because she was diagnosed as a kid. It's like, you've got ADHD and this is going to help you. And
yeah, well,
it didn't really click until she had told me that too. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
Well, Looker comes back in here and says, ADHD is a superpower if you can learn to utilize it.
It is, if you with the hyper focusing thing, yeah. And
I have full-blown ADHD, and now I have the ability to juggle so many things as long as I'm interested.
As long as you're interested in them. That's the key right there.
That's definitely the key.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like my job, so it's like juggle that while doing everything.
That's why you're focusing on me while I'm streaming, and you're just letting them go talk into your ear.
Absolutely. But yeah, that the Silert and the Ritalin and stuff like that, those are stimulants, right? That's all it is a stimulant like caffeine. That's why that's why everybody's like, oh, I can make money by selling my. And other people take your medication and they get, high off of it. That's why that's the thing, is because for a person who needs it, it actually does a good thing. For a person who doesn't need it, it is speed. Yeah.
And then, back in, when I was diagnosed, they called it ADD. And, now everything, the terms have changed, and,
they've
changed. Done more science than...
I think it's even different. I think it's now a spectrum thing. So it changes. It changes all the time.
That's why neurodivergent, because now autism and ADHD are on the neurodiversity spectrum.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are now neurodivergent, I call them neurospicy because it's just fun. I didn't come up with that term either, but yeah.
Okay. Looker comes back, agree, but if I get my X amount of stimulants, I can do things I'm not interested in, providing I have the audio distraction.
The audio distractions of listening to something else. It's about keeping one part of your brain occupied so the other part of your brain can be stimulated. Science is fun.
My work starts fucking with me about my audiobooks. I'm gonna.
But that's why it's making you concentrate more and be more productive.
I'm learning all sorts of things here.
Your brain literally operates differently than other people's brains do, and that's okay. I don't think there is an actual normal. I hate the word normal. Nobody's normal.
Abby something? Abby normal?
Abby.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's why I got my primary physician. She actually, well, I've got a new one now, and I like the new one better because the new one actually has ADHD and has told me she has it and says she knows exactly what I need. So, but the other one, I was actually able to get it through the Americans with Disabilities Act. She was able to write out saying that I'm able to keep Facebook and Twitch and stuff on my computer so that I can have the audio stimulation because it helps me focus. Before that, they were getting ready to write me up because I had it on there. And I'm like, you know what? Your computer is renting space in my house, so I should be able to go. And it's using my internet, so I should be able to go wherever. They were starting to block things. And now I actually have it in there that I can do that. I was talking to one of my managers just the other day, and he was like, oh, yeah, and we're going to have to talk to him about that. And I was like, yeah, make sure to pull up Americans with Disabilities Act and Adams Accommodation. And he did, and all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, okay, you're fine." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I thought."
But again, we talk about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that might not even have been an accommodation that somebody was allowed to
no, they just slapped you and
would have thought to write.
I remember in school, I was told, my teachers told my parents, I was so, they were like, he's so gifted and he could do anything he wants to if he would just focus and apply himself. And I'm like, I hear that now and I'm like, that was such an older way of thinking.
Absolutely. Things have changed so much since then, since, we were growing up in school and everything that we had to go through.
Looker comes back here, and people at work think I'm crazy. My office, the only one that's boxed in because I listen to music and books the whole time. My boss is super cool about it, so I have a loud room while doing my job.
Well,
Perfect.
That's awesome.
So I'm glad that they accommodate for you.
Yeah, I'm glad that your boss is super cool about
Cyclops, it. Yeah. that they get it that you have more productivity with
my boss still doesn't understand it, and I don't think she ever will. But at the same time,
she can't do anything about it.
Right here, it's in writing.
Yeah, she can't.
You can't touch me.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping that sticks around and doesn't decide to go anywhere.
Right.
Well, see, because I have that as an ADA, and then I also have an accommodation because of my heart. I'm on the LASIX, which causes you to go to the bathroom a lot. So I'm like, so on that, I get to take as many bathroom breaks for as long as I want. And then on top of that, I also started taking metformin. And that also can mess with your digestive system. So that's another accommodation. And I was like, she's like, I basically, anytime you're away from your desk, I can't time up your thing because then we have to use the accommodation and put it through. And I'm like, so I could take half the day off and just say I'm in the bathroom. Yeah. And she's like, well, you could, but now that you've said that, I know
exactly. Like you have to be responsible with it, Adam. You have to be the growed up.
Right.
And being the growed up is hard sometimes, but sometimes we have to be the growed up, right?
Yeah, my wife was like, you and your damn mouth. You should have just shut up and taken half a day off for them. I'm like, yeah, I know. I couldn't though. I actually wouldn't feel right doing that. But yeah, was there anything else that you had to add about things that you do and ways that it can help her?
I think that's it. Unless anybody else has any questions for me, I think we've answered all the questions.
If you have any questions, please post them in, and we will try and bring them in. Looker comes back again. I don't think my boss gets it at all, but they feel like they don't need to get it. They look at it from a productivity standard side of things. If you give the Looker his space, he performs at the level we want. So why not? Exactly. Just like me, at work building a car, like me having headphones on and listening to an audiobook gives me more productivity. I take that off, my brain just goes all the fuck ways over.
Well, I would think,
and then I'm not focusing on it.
Sounds everywhere, echoing off.
You've got all the noise and everything going on. So, I wish our company would get that because they're super strict on it, and I know why it is. It's because people have fucked around. They're not paying attention. They're watching YouTube. They're, they're distracted, not doing what they should. But I actually do it better that way.
Maybe you need to look in. I don't know. It depends on what your state does. But maybe you can look on an accommodation for that, and maybe
Yeah,
Cyclops, you
you
could
know,
help him figure
now that you
figure
brought
that
it
out.
up and think about it, I'm just might. And he says everything is a distraction. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like my brain just goes a million miles a minute, and yeah, the wife doesn't get it too. Like the way my brain thinks, and like I'm always thinking about, oh, I got to do this. It just lines up the things for me.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do during a day. And then, if I don't get to them, it's just like, oh, comes down on me, you stupid piece of shit. What the fuck didn't you get that done? You could have done that. You could have squeezed in more time. You could have stayed up, all that kind of shit.
But you're also one person who is a human being in a flesh suit that doesn't want to go 24 hours a day, even though your brain does. So
there's some people that I follow on Instagram. It's called ADHD Love, and they have a podcast called Late Bloomers. But yeah, they were actually saying that the girl there is a rock star, but she has ADHD, and they're pretty much talking about how your brain, when you have ADHD, it's two different brains that are fighting against each other. It's like, you want to do, you can't just say like, I've got a goal, so I need to do this one thing and this one thing and this one thing to get to it. It's like, I got to do everything all at once or nothing, and I'm a failure. We're the kind of people that need to have the stimulation, but we can easily get overwhelmed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like it's all or nothing, which is also why the hyper focus is there too. And it's like, so we can be the best at what, like, did you guys ever watch that show, The Good Doctor? Like how he was the amazing at doing surgery, but when it came to real life tasks, he was like, huh? And I'm like, that's the most accurate depiction. I know he kind of got less autistic as the show went on, but it's like in the first couple of seasons, I'm like, that's the most accurate depiction of what this is like.
Right.
And I know he's autistic and savant syndrome, but at the same time, I'm like,
but then again, Adam, you're saying that it's all a spectrum, right? Neurodivergence is a spectrum. You got and several things in between. It's not just, oh, you have this and you have this and you have, or you have this or you have this or you have this. It's nope, you're just on this lovely little windy weird line that more of the population than not is probably on.
Looker comes back. I've had a few odd moments where I'm jamming out, half dancing, completely unaware that I'm in a glass office so everybody can see me, but oddly enough, I can't see them, right? You're in your own work zone or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see some of that video.
Okay, if you're doing the whole whip and nay thing on there, that's what I want to see in the glass office.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that with nay? I forget how they did that. God. I put up there, so are you a pro? Pro.
So is who a pro? Elaborate just a little bit there.
Yeah, I think I may know where he's going. I think he's asking me if I'm a professional. But yes, I do have my master's degree in clinical psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescents. So
okay.
Thank
you.
Yeah,
I do actually have training and background and went through the multiple years of school and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah.
That's actually how her and my wife met.
We were in undergrad together. Yep. We were in the same psychology classes. It was a group of 4 of us that were in the same psych classes together. And we're like, hey, let's study as a group. And we've just been friends ever since. So we met like in 2002? No, it would have been closer to 2003 because I actually started one major, switched my major, and went to another major. So.
Looker comes back again. What are your thoughts on those who find themselves in a cycle of not being able to sleep? Kind of like what I was saying, where my brain just wants to keep going. Sometimes I do have to take melatonin and go, chill the fuck out. We need to go to bed.
Right. And it's just finding what works best for you. Sometimes it is medication to help shut your brain off. Sometimes it's like, just thought stopping, like, okay, like you said, neo-deth, sometimes I just got to shut it off and be like, okay, we're not thinking about that anymore. We're going to stop thinking about this particular thought. We'll save that for tomorrow and we're going to go to bed. Sometimes you actually have to tell yourself that in your head brain. And I have to do this too. Okay, we can't focus on this right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
we have to go to
usually
bed.
when I'm trying to go to bed, my brain's like, "Hey, tomorrow we're gonna get up, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and hey, we can do this and this." And I'm like, "Whoa, let's just get to sleep, and then we can do that."
Well, it could be also, Looker, that maybe your body just functions on 5 hours of
Yeah,
sleep a
he
night, and
comes back.
that's
Normally,
just
I get
fine.
5 hours a night, which is cool. But once in a while, I get 5 or 6 times a year. I won't sleep, and yeah, there's times same thing for with me. Like
Yep.
I run on 6 hours of
Mhm.
sleep. That is my
And
peak
5 is
one.
my
If I get more, I am exhausted. I'm a goddamn zombie.
5 is
Sometimes
mine.
if I'm
5
less,
is
I get a
mine.
little bit more. But
yeah,
go ahead.
that's just your body. I mean, the whole standard everybody needs 8 hours of sleep is not necessarily a thing. Sometimes I need more than 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes I need 9 hours of sleep because my body decided it didn't want to function that day. And that's just, you just got to take yourself as a, yeah, I tell myself to sleep and it works. Yeah, you literally have to, okay, it is time to
Looker,
shut my brain off.
Looker, do you have to have silence or do you sleep with noise? Because like
Oh yeah, do you have to have
I
the noise?
usually I went on to Spotify because I usually would have like the TV on or something, but the bright lights
Yeah.
always are.
Max says
So
noise.
I've found on Spotify you can actually find like sleep channels,
Oh yeah, they are.
and
Yeah.
they're like I've gotten better sleep just using these channels, and it's like I'm trying to pull one up on my iPad here.
My
This
wife
is-
uses
He
a
also
white
comes
noise
back. Yeah,
machine.
five seems to be good for me, but it's more of an inability to actually sleep, and it doesn't seem stress induced.
But like I said, if that's your body and that's where you feel comfortable and good, then that's how much sleep you need. And you know,
It's not like white noise though. It's like a
Brooklyn 999 is
I
my
don't
bedtime show.
when that's a good show.
Twitch, Hermitcraft streaming is my husband's bedtime or whatever is streaming that night. But it usually has to be something relatively calm, so because
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not like super hyped up. Because then I'm wanting to watch it and pay attention, and I'm not sleeping because I'm more
It's
interested
weird.
in what's on TV.
With the Spotify tracks that I use though, it's like almost a meditation tone. Like they have them at different like hertz settings
Okay.
in octaves. Yeah, and like I found one because I found two. There's one that is like at a 500 hertz that like is good, but this new one that I found is at like a 432 hertz, and it's very soothing, and I fall asleep faster, and I feel myself getting like a deeper sleep. Waking up and feeling more refreshed. And I still only am at that like 5 hour threshold where if I sleep longer, I'll wake up with a headache. I'll wake up with a stiff neck. I'll be cranky as hell.
You cranky? Never.
Right? Yeah, I know. But yeah, Looker, if you have Spotify, check out, just like type in deep sleep, and then a bunch of different options will pop up.
Yeah, my wife's got a white noise machine that she uses that actually I didn't realize was helping me until one day when it didn't work and neither of us could sleep.
Yep, that's why a lot of people sleep with fans on too. Fans make the same
Yep.
Yeah. I've actually
whirring noise.
It's weird. I've had it where I'll have sleep on the fan with the fan on, and like a storm will roll through, and the power will go out, and the fan
You're
turning
awake.
off will wake me up. Like
You're
it's
awake.
like it's not even the thunder or anything; it's the fan shutting off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that, and even in the wintertime, they'll do that. They'll turn the fan away from them because they don't like to be cold. They don't want the actual air, but they just need the noise.
It reminds me kind of an embarrassing story. When we were living in Wisconsin, we had a storm that went by, and it was really super loud. But of course, we were sleeping right through it. The only time that we woke up was when the fan went off. But what happened was the thunder was like really, really close. Like it hurt. Like we heard it, boom. And for some reason, instead of getting up, I decided to get up on the bed, like not actually standing next to the bed, but on the bed. And my head hit the fan above us, and I was like, "Oh!" And Rachel was like, "Why were you standing on the bed?" And I'm like, "I have no idea."
Well, that's just because you were asleep. That has nothing to do with it. You were just asleep.
She's like, most people would like get scared and put their feet on the ground and stand up, you're like, "Oh God!" Right. But your brain suddenly made you stand on the bed. And I'm like, yeah. And then I just kind of looked at her and I was like, this isn't exactly my highest moment. I said there actually had a mark on my head for like a day and a half after that because I hit the fan so hard. But yeah, we do also have, unless anybody else has any other questions, we do have some stories. One that kind of goes in with the orange dude we were talking about before.
Are we doing my segment or?
Yes. Sorry, I skipped that. I'm sorry. Yes, we have a new segment. We have a new segment here. Go ahead, neo-deth, take it away.
Something I'm working on here. I don't know what to call it. You know, talking about streaming and like things I do that may help you, or you know, maybe I'm doing them wrong. But you know, just to bring out some more of the streaming of what we do. So for me, when I'm streaming, I have like 1 billion notepads open for each stream that I'm doing. So if I'm playing World of Warcraft, I'll have a thing up there for like when I'm going. This is the one for garbage in, garbage out. When I'm about to go live, I will copy paste some of my titles in there, and that's where I also keep all our links. You know what we're kind of about, so I can just go in there, grab that information, copy it in, and try and get on stream a little better. Same thing with like I've started doing the tags for Twitch. Like I didn't used to do the Twitch tags. I used to just keep them static, but now I've changed those out, and you can copy paste them into in there. And same thing with my YouTube tags to try and get us, you know, further reach. And then, you know, some of my Discord ads that I've put out, you know, trying to get people to come see us more. So I don't know if this is what somebody else might do, or how other people keep their information, or you just fly by the seat of your pants. I'm gonna get on, I'm gonna type out a whatever the fuck, and that's what's going out that day, whatever it may feel like. You know, my Indiana Jones one here, like I have all the ones I use because I was trying to grab a, you know, memorable quote from Indiana Jones every time I went live. You know, it didn't have to be one specific movie. It's throughout the entire thing. And it started, you know, with we named the dog Indy. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And then I just kept going on with that throughout the entire thing.
This is the type of shit that I was talking about, where I say they put too much planning into things, and
I mean, I have to have my brain would scream at me if I just got like, even like for today, I had set all my titles set up ready to go before we even went live, like
I've got my
hours
titles.
beforehand.
I got my titles and stuff for my channel before I go live, but I don't put any real
Thought
thought
behind it.
into it. And then it's like, you know, the links that you have that, you know, you copy paste into your chat during the stream. I just have
It's not really during the stream. Those are more like, these are more like this 8-part. This is so I can.
I'm talking about like when you had the garbage in, garbage out one up, and you had like, you know, all of our socials and all of that shit right there. Like that stuff, I would put in my bot and then set it on like, okay, on a 30-minute timer, it'll say, hey, check out our garbage in, garbage out, you know, channel, and have a link.
And I have some of them. These usually these are from my YouTube, so that I can just grab this title, put it in there, and then I'll usually, you know, paste it, you know, bring it down a little bit. This week we talked about, you know, after I've edited it all and I know all the stories and everything we've talked about, I kind of give a short blurb about what's going, but then that is always going to go into there so that you can hit all our socials. Same thing with the tags. I usually use always the same tags, you know, as much as I can think of to try and get, you know, get searchability for the show.
Right.
But you know, I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them up right now of different things. Like I've even started, you know, like my video editing, so I know how to do some of that.
See, and here's the thing:
I'm a big copy paste type thing.
I've heard like for those tags, you should have like no less than 15. And then I heard TikTok, when you put too many tags, it like stretches it so it doesn't know where to throw your stuff. And I'm like, so
I mean,
what?
YouTube,
So what is
you
it?
want as many tags as you can get on it.
Yeah.
I'm just going off of YouTube, and you know, with the Twitch, you can only have 10. So I try and come up with the best I can for right there. And not saying that they work, but
Right.
they're there, so hopefully maybe I can draw somebody in.
That's how I found a few people, was through the tags, but not very many. So
Yeah.
I mean, I can say it works? ?
I mean, it started out, I had one open, and then I made another one, and then I'm like, I should just have one for each game I do, so I have what I need.
Huh.
Yeah. I just I wanted to see what your thoughts are, how you do it, and how other people may do it.
So I mean, I don't go quite as in depth with that. What I do is, like, I have it on my phone in my notepad, and I'll put like a little blurb of whatever the game is that I'm gonna do, and then I try to put hashtags with it. Like with X, you can only work so many characters, so I try to make it fill up all the characters, and then I start posting it on like the different socials, like my Discord, the various Twitch pages that are on Facebook, which I have gained a few followers from that. And then that's usually where I go from there. And then with this, I clip it and then I put it on like TikTok and all the others, and I try to tag them as much as I can. But again, with TikTok, they're like, use as few tags as possible. And I'm like, wait, but then doesn't
I always see
hinder
people with like
searchability?
tons of them. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I've seen it with tons, and then I've seen it with one, and both of them have had like 135,000 views on it. And I'm like, okay, well, here I am at 200.
I mean,
200 is still good.
Coming down to society of like what goes viral, what the stupid kids are doing that everybody has to recreate or whatever. You will never get ahead of that.
Some guy tried to steal my car out of a TikTok viral challenge, and he didn't actually steal it, but he messed up he actually ripped out the engine, the starter part, and the lines, and then he actually dislodged one of the springs. And I was like, okay, so he's lucky the airbag didn't go off and kill him.
Right.
Was that
right
a while ago, or did that happen again, Adam?
No, that was a while ago.
That's why it was. You found out what it was. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what the insurance company marked it as, because it's a Kia, and now they've got it updated with the newer security features, so that kind of thing doesn't happen again. But that's what they marked it as. They said it was most likely that, and he just didn't know what he was doing, even though he was probably watching a YouTube video while trying to do it.
Yeah.
A how-to on how to crack into a car.
Everything is out there.
Yeah, the viral stuff is just ridiculous. Some of the things the wife shows me is like, this is viral. I'm like, why? Why are kids fucking taking Tide Pods? Like, fucking use your brain.
I've seen ones where they were like, oh, this is going viral, and it was just people on like a foggy morning running in saying like, oh, I'm going to Silent Hill. And I'm like, okay, but why is that viral though? Because everybody says, oh, it's foggier than Silent Hill on a foggy morning,
Right.
But it's like, but then the Tide Pods was a thing. I remember stealing the Kias was a thing. What else was recently? One of them was like try to like jump your car like on a bridge or something like that. And I'm like, well, I'm sure the insurance companies love that one.
Right. But yeah. So that's what my little segments are going to be, and I will get the animatics and all that stuff. It'll be talking about streaming and like things I do, or things that might improve you, things that might improve me. I learned something today that we can bring OBS in here and use that as our camera. I didn't know that. All right. So little things that can help us out. The segment
needs to have like the more you know star, and like,
right.
When we were kids,
Yep. And knowing is half the battle.
Yep. Showing our
So,
age again, but that's okay.
We will
Borg.
definitely work on that.
And then
the
Koimiya,
other
we should give
stories-
you one. We should give you one too. We should be like Koimiya's soapbox or something like that because
Yeah.
you're always taking a stand that you're angry about something going on that week. Or this
I don't
looks
know
like
what
hot
you're
ass.
talking about. I don't know if they showed you, but I literally, I have a button. So the show Futurama, there's Zap Brannigan, and there's a scene. So this is the actual scene.
That's whatever you were talking about for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the website Cameo.
Mhm.
Where
Yes.
you can-
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my brother, for a birthday gift, got Billy West to do this.
That's whatever KoimiaX is talking about for you.
That is so awesome.
That is
got-
awesome.
Now we've got that for when I go on my little tangents
Mhm.
and soapbox. So
So we will have to get a weekly segment
So-
for you that you can just go off, 5-10 minutes,
So,
do your thing, and
if
then,
it's- If it's something that only he feels passionate about, sometimes we'll run this one. We'll go.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Angel is back. Welcome back, Angel. Thank you for
welcome back.
watching.
Hello
Welcome.
again.
But how you doing today, Angel?
Is he actually
So-
responding back, or did he just pop in?
He just literally popped in. So
Okay.
But yeah, I'm thinking like we should have that as Brian's or as neo-deth segment, and we should have the soapbox as Koimia's, and then we'll just do like random thoughts with Cyclops or something, just something.
I'm
random.
telling
Like,
you got to do reviews, and your reviews are eyes. How many eyes would you
Yes,
give it?
how many
that is.
Oh, that is.
comic
I
gold.
like that actually. That is the
comic
best.
gold.
thank you for the follow, J. Phillip.
We're gonna have to get like an eye emote. Do
Yeah.
that. Be like, okay, I'll give it. How like the Superman movie? I haven't seen it, but I'll be like, 3 eyes out of 5, or something.
Or is one eye better? What is better, higher or lower?
Ah,
Mhm.
Because you're
a good
Cyclops,
call.
so one eye would be the best, right?
Yes,
right. Ah, yeah, it's a reverse one. Ooh, I
There you
like
go.
that. That is
I'll
some
give you
good thinking right
Okay,
there.
this movie sucked. You get 100 eyes. Like this one was great. The eye approves.
yeah.
Hey, that's
Something
exactly
like that.
that's good. I like that.
Yeah. See, yeah.
Snoochie boochies.
That's how we learn things here.
I do not like this new layout though for StreamYard.
What? Oh, the
Media
I like it. You
assets.
can actually see things. You don't have to scroll all the way down.
I don't like change.
Tell us about it, old man. Go on your soapbox.
No,
Oh, no. Anyway.
for now.
See, you can see them faster. I think you don't have to scroll all the way down.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Oh, it'll grow on them, and then it'll be
It'll-
fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah,
And,
and
and
then
um,
I'll change it again.
Okay.
Right.
just because we have Terry on here, I have to run this one, even though there's no segment to it. But remember the member berries?
I remember.
remember the member berries. Yes, between you and my husband. Oh,
I know. Sometimes we'll get together and I'll be like, "Remember this," and just something random.
member berry.
Member berries.
Member berries.
Oh man! See, we have some of the funnest clips here, but it's like just getting to them before we move to the next segment is kind of hard sometimes.
Yes. Or getting into the next segment.
I was going to say, what is the next segment?
The
That is
next
a perfect
segment is I
transition.
do have a article that I found
Oh,
that
well-
I thought was quite amusing.
Hold on, I'll do it properly here.
Yay! So everybody knows we did talk about the infamous stapler and the box stapler gate, I think is what they called it.
Pretty
With
sure I sent this to our chat.
Yes. That they did with the Nintendo Switch 2 in what was it, Long Island or Staten Island?
Staten Island.
Something like that, yeah.
So now that GameStop is auctioning off the stapler, the actual stapler that did it, and you can get that plus the box and a certificate and the actual stapler, and this is going for
The actual staple.
staple. Yes, thank you. It is going to help Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and it is already at almost $250,000.
Now, the other, I don't know if you realize this, but Children's Miracle Network hospitals is what Extra Life, all the money for Extra Life does, and so, which I'm actually wearing one of their shirts from
Nice plug.
one of the years, but yeah, no, I think this is freaking hilarious. I think they should go one step further, and the employee who did the stapling should sign the stapler.
Yeah,
and get a picture of him signing the stapler, so you know.
Signing the stapler, yeah, and I mean, I love the fact that they're including the refurbished Switch 2 in there. The real question,
I mean, you can see on the 2 that it is the box that was stapled.
The real question is, though, is if you had the money laying around to throw towards this, because obviously the money is going to a good cause,
right?
Would you open that Switch and play it?
I mean, is there a Switch in there, or is it just
it's the whole system. They even said with
the system.
They said refurbished and working, and yeah, it's the whole system. Like, because they even showed a picture of the screen where you can see. I think they left the screen that I don't know, but it looks like they've got it in a display case almost.
Yeah.
And the question is would you open that?
Got the receipt there.
I don't know.
If you could play it, I think I would. If it would show up, like, for me, again, streamer brain, I would think bringing it on screen and you see the holes or whatever, the dead pixels playing the game like that, you're like, that's that's a flex. I've got that Switch.
I don't know. See, maybe it's because I've been playing a lot of Indiana Jones lately, but I would say there is a video game museum I think that could go in.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
Maybe, like I said, maybe it's because of all the Indiana Jones I've been playing, but I do think I'd open it up to make sure that it's the actual system, that it's what I paid for. But I might actually donate that to there's a video game museum that I might donate that to. Because, I mean, I'd also be afraid that if I had it here, I'd break it in some way.
Would you staple it?
Yeah, I might staple it by mistake.
Yeah.
What? So, I mean, what about the people that this happened to? They went back, returned it, and then now you take it and turn it into something good, but you also they could have had that.
Here's the thing: they got their system regardless. GameStop made good and gave them a new system, and the fact that the stapler became a meme, and now GameStop is capitalizing on that. I mean, if I was the person that had originally happened to, I'd be like, that's fucking hilarious. I'd be like, it's like I got my system, so I'm happy I've got that. If I didn't get something fixed and then have that happen, I'd be like, you sons of bitches,
I mean, they've been doing a good job with this. Like, this is what we talked about, a couple of weeks ago. Like, they knew that they were in hot water with it, so now they're playing on it and using it as a good marketing campaign.
Exactly. We are talking about it.
Yeah.
And so, it's brilliant on all fronts. And then, like I said, the fact that the money is all going to Children's Miracle Network is awesome.
I looked at it before. I think it was only at 12,000, and then I pulled it up for this article, and I was like, "Holy crap! I did not think it would hit these levels."
Yeah, it was before you came on. We heard him. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's insane that it's for that level, but I mean, to think every penny of that is going to such a good cause.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Children's Miracle Network is an amazing organization. So.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was actually part of, I know we were talking about this earlier, but I was actually in a hospital with my eye and everything. The hospital that had to take this so that I would live was I don't know if Children's Miracle Network was there, but I know that it was something similar back in like 1986 when this happened. But yeah, eventually that hospital became part of Children's Miracle Network, and basically nothing changed at that hospital other than now you saw CMN stuff.
Yeah.
Because they were already doing everything that they were doing.
Tell you, I know from experience because of my older son, but Madison, the Madison UW Madison Hospital has a Children's Miracle branch, and they did fantastic there when my son was there for his issues.
Mm.
So, but that's why I have no problem doing Extra Life every year. You know, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. 2 down.
I was not number one.
Yeah. So we have this thing.
I was number one, so I think we're just usually it's you, but I did steal your phrase, so I had to count it.
She's sitting there looking confused as hell.
Yeah. So the thing is, Koimiya has this habit of saying this is fantastic or saying the word fantastic in some way all the time, and now it's probably going to pick those up. But so now we've got a counter. So every time he says the F word, we'll say.
Well, that's probably the best F word right there.
Yeah, I don't know what made me realize it the one day I was talking about some game or something, and I was just...
you said it like a bunch of times.
I said it like 5 times in one sentence, and I'm like, damn, I say that a lot. And, you know...
That's your thing
and
now.
Us being us, we're going to take that and run with it. So I now have a counter that counts them. But I have to control it, so it's not like automated. It just pops up. So it's another one of those, exclamation point fantastic. And then it adds the count. But only I can do it. I'm the moderator, so not everybody in chat can.
So, I mean, I just said it 2 times. I don't know if you want to do that, but you only want to count it from Koimiya.
I mean, usually, but today we'll make a special exception. There we go. It's been said 4 times.
That we know of. That we caught.
Yeah, that we know of.
So. That's awesome. But yeah, we did have other stories here. I know we've already gone to the 2-hour mark. If you guys are cool, we can keep going. There were some stories.
More stories.
Yeah, so we kind of hinted at this one here about Agent Orange in the White House doing, is probably going to get upset about this, but there's actually, you can now help fight ICE and get 100 games and over 400 tabletop RPGs. This is in California, so it's on the other side of the country from what you were talking about, Terry. But yep, so one of the better things to have occurred in recent years is the rise of itch.io. Protest bundles. Millions of dollars have been raised for various virtual causes through the generosity of developers throwing games by the hundreds in deals. That have done incredible work not to only make money, but to also generate noise about these issues. The latest, already at $40,000 after a day, is No Ice in California, where $10 will get you an astonishing 560 games, 427 of which are tabletop RPGs. And basically, this goes to fight ICE in California, is basically where this goes for.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like the cause, especially if it's bringing awareness to a younger generation that might not care. They might start to look at things differently, especially for like cheap $10, price of a burger probably in California.
Easily.
Yeah.
you can help somebody out, learn, and then also get some games out of it.
Now, the thing is, like, a lot of people are sitting here. I've seen a lot of the comments here, and they've been on both sides of the fence. It seems like the consensus is, okay, if you're a true hardened, super violent criminal, yeah, deport. But I mean, if you're here legally and you've really done nothing wrong, why are we sending them back? Like they're actually they're contributing when they buy our stuff. They're contributing to our economy. That makes no sense.
Yeah. If they actually, get a paycheck, then they do actually pay taxes.
Right.
And there's so many
Everybody
businesses
thinks that they're here for a free ride, but
not.
it's actual Americans that are the ones that are sucking on the American teat and doing not working and whatnot. So it just doesn't make any sense. It's just this country is so back-asswards on some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and that's the thing is like they're even talking about deporting actual citizens, and I'm like,
they've already done that. They've done that by mistake several times. And you know what the response?
But I think he's like, even today, I heard on the official White House thing, dumbass put up there that Rosie O'Donnell. I'm thinking about taking away her
citizenship.
Citizenship. Thank you. That word just left my head.
It's all right.
Taking away her citizenship. That's not the way that fucking works. Once you're a citizen here, you're a citizen here. You don't get to pick and choose. Like, if we start doing that, then we're in a world of fucking hurt.
Well, and he wants to end birthright citizenship, and I'm like, hey, don't you have a son who's here on a birthright citizenship?
Right?
Isn't Barron on a birthright citizenship?
Probably not only one. I think she's not the only person who wasn't born here that he is married, because he's married because there was his daughter, his daughter's mother was not a U.S. citizen,
right?
So he loves her.
Nothing he does makes any fucking sense. It never applies to him, right?
Well, no, that's classic narcissism, and that's
right.
The actual disorder, like DSM.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we could have a whole fucking.
We could. I could come back for that one.
I will say, just to I know it's kind of a little off topic, but there was the time when in his first term he was on there blaming video games for a lot of like the violence and the school shootings and stuff. And I love how Hillary Clinton got on there and her and Bernie Sanders created the hashtag video games are not to blame. And I'm like, I can see Bernie doing this. Hillary's part of the reason the ESRB even exists, because wasn't it Tipper Gore got like hugely upset in the 90s over Mortal Kombat, and then went on TV talking about how games were like this huge threat to kids. And I'm like, yeah, but now suddenly he says it's a threat to kids and you're saying no. And I'm like, okay, this is just...
I mean...
but a lot of people have changed their view on that too, as the point of the industry I now work in. So,
Yeah,
but it was just funny that she grabbed her bullhorn and then grabbed it again to say the opposite. Yeah. I was like, okay,
yeah.
Well, maybe she realized she was wrong.
Yeah, maybe finally got educated on it. But with dumbass, he's not educated. He's just talking out whatever the fuck side of his mouth he wants to this time. And
I love how he's going after Harvard, and it's like, why? Because you applied for Harvard and they said no, and then all of your kids applied for Harvard and they said no, but yet Obama got in.
Exactly. No, that is the exact reason.
That is it. He holds a grudge and then is going to take it out on everybody.
So, but yeah, when I saw this, I was just like, "Wow!" I didn't even know they could do something like this. I'm surprised he's not flipping tables about this, But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? This is something I actually totally agree with.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. For those of us that can't, show our support by actually going out and protesting or something like that, this is,
I mean, he's tried to stop protests too. Like, any way he can stop the people from informing them of the dumb shit he does, he comes down on it.
And I see MAGA going on there like, so what did the protests do? And I'm like, well, if you want to break it down, they did put a lot of money into the economy, because you saw all those protests that happened, a month or so ago? that was like millions of people in the United States were marching on the streets. I'm like, they all had to go to the bathroom. They all had to get stuff to eat. They actually went to the restaurants there, the stores there. That probably pumped a lot of money into the economy that day.
Right.
So I was like, so you have that. And on top of that, now there's more people aware of the stupid shit he's doing. They weren't just marching to march.
Yeah.
This ain't no tomato farm.
But yeah, we got a little political tirade. I mean, I knew that was going to happen with that one.
I'm surprised, Koimiya, you didn't get on your soapbox there.
Nope.
I think he stayed quiet for a reason.
Yeah, he abstained from it. He doesn't want to be known for that. I mean, I'll speak my mind. Like, I totally fucking hate that asshat. I have no problem saying it.
And there's no other way to do this other than this again. All right, so we do have a couple other stories, bigger stories that happened throughout the week. Let me actually get that pulled up. I don't know why I didn't. But yeah, the major Nintendo Switch piracy site was seized by the FBI. Now, you know things are serious when the FBI get involved in a website, for Nintendo. And it said here, one of the biggest Nintendo Switch piracy sites around has been taken down by the FBI as part of a law enforcement operation on Thursday. NSW2U was one of the better known, I'm not even sure how to say that. Is that repositories?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
For Switch ROMs online, allowing people to play games on hacked Switches or emulators on PC without legally purchasing the games themselves. So, and I'm not sure here. It says this domain has been seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in accordance with the seizure warrant issued pursuant to 18 USC 2323 issued by the United States District Court of the Northern District of Georgia as part of a law enforcement operation. An action by the Federal Bureau of Investigation reads the notice now posted on the site. When you visit the URL, it says the FIOD, a Dutch agency that investigates financial crimes in the Netherlands, was also involved.
Why the fuck was the Netherlands involved? Are they money laundering?
I'll bet maybe they were funding the site.
Could be, or that's where the server was,
or that's where the site originated from. Yeah.
So according to the users, the Switch piracy subreddit, the site was still active earlier today, which was Thursday, with many claiming to have downloaded games within the last few hours. The NSW2U sites were first added to the EU piracy watch list back in May of this year. The FBI and Nintendo did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
I was going to say, this is Nintendo going after them again.
So, I mean, at this point, I'm like, but if the FBI is involved, that means that there had to be some sort of crime involved. It seems like Nintendo.
Well, I mean, they say piracy is the crime. That is the crime, but
because they're not paying for the video game,
right?
So,
then on the flip side of that, and I saw a meme about this online. If I'm paying for a game, I own that fucking game.
Yes.
What I want to do with that game is my fucking business. If I want to disassemble that game and turn it into something else, and you want to play it for free, I'm not getting any money off of it. That is my fucking duty. I can do that. I own that.
It's basically like when you buy a game, you can light it on fire and nobody should be able to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why would you do that? I don't know, but people do.
You know, they're trying to get it as both ways, that they own everything and then go against piracy and then tell you that you own absolutely nothing in this deal. I'm like, no. I believe there's a big thing in the EU because they
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah,
they do a lot more over there to protect their consumers. I believe there's a big partition going on over there where they're trying to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Where we actually own the products that we purchase.
Yeah, because they're saying that there is the movement going. I forget the name of it, but I've heard of it several times. There is something. It's actually a petition with like a bunch of signatures now. I'm not sure.
Almost, I know it's over 1 million because they
Yeah.
got like 1 million like really fucking fast.
To know that once you, because they're trying to do something over there that's like, oh, you bought it, but in order for it to update, in order for this to happen, we still own it in order to update it and stuff like that. In order to have DLC and stuff like that, we still own it. Even though you bought it, it's not technically yours, and we can, like, if we stop, I think it's because if they stop supporting a game and the game goes dormant, like you can't play it anymore because they stopped doing updates and it stopped being compatible with different systems and things.
Or they shut down the server.
Then you bought a game that you basically can't play anymore. It's yours, but you can't play it. So I think that's what
and
that
and
one
a
is
lot
about.
of fans will come together if it's a game that's pretty popular, and they'll try and revitalize it, keep it going, put it on a private server so everybody can do it, not charge any money, but you're the project going because you loved it so much. And then those companies come down on them and say, you can't do that, you don't own it. But
but
what are you doing with it?
You stopped
You're not
supporting
fucking
it, so
doing
we
anything
can't
with
play
it.
it anymore. Yeah,
right.
So that's what that bill for the EU is so that companies can no longer do that. They have to either give permission away so that you can support it yourself, or they have to continuously support it. So I kind of agree with it, and I am upset that it's not over here in the US as well. I'm like, wait, why don't we get that? Like,
usually, like once they start adopting things over there, it will trickle our way
eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of the Better Bureau.
The Better Bureau. Yeah, say that.
Yeah, that one that I can't say. All that, like, it used to be to protect us, and now it doesn't seem like we have the protections of the things that we buy.
Oh no.
Well, I remember at Ubisoft, I think it was their president or somebody that was in charge there said, like, gamers better get used to the idea that they don't own their games, and that blew up in their face. I'm like, if you'd have said that in any other year where you launched like games that made money that year, that probably would have gone over a little better, but you had like 4 flops before Assassin's Creed.
Right.
But it is true. I mean, like, if you don't have a physical copy of a game, you don't know, But I agree with you that it shouldn't be. That's where my stance is. But that's the reality. Is if you don't have the physical copy of the game, even
if you have the physical copy of the game, because even the other part of piracy is, I bought the game, I should be able to take that ROM and back it up just in case something happens to it.
Right.
So now they're going against that. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think they have an issue with that because I've seen Nintendo flat out say, if you keep the copy for yourself, we don't have a problem with that. It's when you put it online for everybody else to
play said game that's a backup. Say my first one got destroyed. To play said backup, you need an emulator to play it, and they're cracking down on all of those.
But see, here's the thing. Are they, though? Because it's like the emulator, if you're using the emulator for your own ROMs, they don't have an issue with that. It's as soon as you
start sharing it, I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wonder if that's what they're doing. They're going after the ones that are sharing it, and then
with the Switch 2, people were putting in the thing to play their emulator on here, and they were bricking the system. As soon as you brought up that program, it would brick the system. So you're not even giving them the chance to see what they're doing with it. You just instantly ban them because of that program came out.
Yeah,
that was a couple weeks ago, though.
So maybe they've reversed that since then.
I don't know. I mean, Nintendo is always one of those, like, they're like Disney. They're always lording over their IPs. Won't let anybody do anything with them. Even like fan-made games using that IP.
The homebrew,
that they've put their entire, essence into. Oh, cancel it! Get the fuck out of here! People can't play that, even though they're not charging money for it.
I know. I mean, I haven't in a long time, but in the past, I could find emulators online left and right. I could find them for my cell phone. I could find them for my iPad. I could find
Right.
ROMs are where you can't find anything. I mean, you can. You just have to know where to look. But you can't just Google up N64 ROMs and find them readily available. But if you Google N64 emulator, you'll get like 14,000 hits right away. And so it's just, I don't know. I think the whole thing is stupid. I honestly think that if you have the physical copy of the game and you have the backup ROM, you should be able to play that backup ROM.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Did anybody else hear that sound?
Nope, that's on your end.
Okay. And of course, maybe my computer's getting ready to do an update.
Maybe you're going to get an update next. The government is going to update you.
Yeah.
I should have known that something was going to happen because, like, all of a sudden, the webpage that I was trying to load just like bogged down, and then like my computer just like rebooted, and it said updates. We have updates. Leave computer on. I'm like, fuck. I was using the computer all morning from like 9 a.m. till right up before the show, no problem whatsoever. And then I'm like, okay. I went to open the window.
Turn off automatic updates, or like have it update while you're asleep or something.
Something, but it's like I went to open the StreamYard window, and it was just like I was on dial up, and then just went and rebooted.
So
you should have to like give it a prompt too, like, okay, we're gonna update right now, not just hey, same thing happened to Cyclops when he was streaming this week. Just all of a sudden, we're updating right now. No, the fuck you're not.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I have mine where I go to hit the power button and it'll say like update and shut down or update and restart. And I don't know why it didn't pop up because I didn't get a single thing before it was all of a sudden, guess what? We're doing it right now.
Yep, I didn't either.
Yep.
I didn't either.
That happens.
See, they call those hot fixes in online games. So,
but yeah, we still had a couple other stories that we can discuss here.
Well, guys, I hate to, but I'm going to have to jet because I have other things I've got to do. It's almost 5 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I enjoyed being on with you guys. I enjoyed the conversation. It was a lot of fun. So
we appreciate you being on here and educating us, and we hope to have you on again. That would be fun. And I would say, consider streaming. You've got the chops. You got everything you need.
You just taught us stuff about streaming, and we've been doing it for years.
So definitely consider it. You could start making money off of that, and we would fully, hop in your stream, help support you, all that kind of thing.
So I mean, I know you're not technically a doctor, but you could use the name Dr. Terry or something like that, kind of like Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz.
I would still use Borg Queen because there's a reason I am the Borg Queen. Because who's a Trekkie here? Anybody Trekkies? Mm-hmm. Anybody Trekkies? Okay, so the Borg Queen was half metal,
half
right?
Human.
She was half human, half cyborg. Okay, so I've got bolts and screws and everything around there. But the Borg Queen, she was the queen. She was the ruler of them all, right? So that's why I picked Borg Queen, because she was a strong woman, even though she was half human and half robot.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
That's it. And so I use that for everything. I'm Borg Queen in Discord. My Minecraft skin is Borg Queen Minecraft skin. So everything is
you've already got the name. You've got a great story behind it. I'm just trying to encourage you.
Go set up on Beam.
Go set up on Beam and Twitch, and you're good to go.
Well, I'll think about it if I get the spoons, if I get the energy to do it.
If I
get brave enough. Help? If I get brave enough, that's the thing there. I have to get
like you said, if you did it as a D&D style, so you could have, all three of us or whatever, and then you're still there, but you've got the support, and then maybe, that'll give you enough. And, I've told Cyclops this before. Right before I'm about to hit the fucking go live button, I'm always like, you're not going to have anybody. You're an idiot. No one wants to listen to you. All that goes through your head. And then as soon as you hit that go live button, it's a whole new ball word.
It drops.
You flip on the personality or whatever, and you just go. And
Yeah.
you do the fun thing that you were going to do anyways, like play a video game. If someone wants to join me while I'm doing it, have at it. And we'll have a good conversation while we're doing it.
Yeah.
So
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
But Borg Queen, you say that you're a Trekkie, so a while ago this show was called Goes Nowhere Does Nothing. Does that ring a bell for you?
It should, but my brain is not braining right now.
So it wasn't something that was actually on Star Trek. It was actually a behind the scenes. So basically, what they did was they had they had the buttons on when they were like on the deck and everything
on the consoles. Yeah.
Well, if you notice, they only ever pushed like certain ones. So on
That's
the set,
a lot of them were fake. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the set, they would have a sticker with a number, and it would say GNDN1, GNDN2, which stood for this button goes nowhere, does nothing, which was the actor sign for don't touch this button because this button doesn't move. But then they had the other ones that did function that would open the doors and things like that. So they knew not to touch this button. And that's why a lot of times when people say, oh, goes nowhere, does nothing, that's actually what they're referencing. They're referencing behind the scenes Star Trek. And that was the original. Cool. I don't know if Next Generation did that or if Enterprise or any of those other ones did it, but I know that they did it on the original.
That's cool. I think probably Enterprise and everything, and that was just Next Gen was just LEDs because they had that capacity at that time. They had the capacity for things to light up. Whereas in the original, they had to have physical buttons because they didn't have the capacity for the other things at the time. So,
but
another thing on Star Trek, I know you're trying to get out of here, and we do this the long goodbye, right?
The Midwestern goodbye.
If you do like Lego is going to put out a Enterprise D Lego set coming up in November, I believe.
Well,
they haven't leaked the actual pictures, but a lot of the information has been put out there, and I am super excited about that.
Yeah, there is a Star Trek TTRPG game.
Yes. Yep.
That is a thing, and I've always wanted to play it, but there's your first I haven't learned that system. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I had fun.
Yeah,
this is a cool podcast. Thank you for having me on to share my brain dumps.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you.
It was fun.
We learned a lot. We shared a lot, and we appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you so much. It was fun being here. This is the first podcast I've done, so
hopefully the first of many.
Right.
We'll see. All right. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Talk to you later. Yeah, that was fun having her on. I'm hoping we can get her and maybe like some other people in the mental health field to come on and talk about games too. Because I mean, it would be great to get like a spectrum of people, to just talk about this kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, with you guys here, we did have a couple other stories here. One that I brought up that we've talked about a few times here. The video game actors contract has been ratified. SAG-AFTRA leaders talk gaming execs reckoning with Hollywood's AI standards. 11-month strikes turning point. So it sounds like they're not quite there yet, but they're getting there.
I mean, if it says ratified, that means that it's that they're accepting it.
So ratified. So yeah, following the 11-month strike plagued by the back and forth disputes over generative, I believe I said that right, generative AI, SAG-AFTRA has ratified its new contract with major video game companies, including Activision, Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, and WB Inc., per the joint statement issued by the Actors Union and the video game companies party to the agreement, Wednesday, SAG-AFTRA members approved the 2025 SAG-AFTRA interactive media agreement by a vote of 95.4% to 4.96%. I don't know what those numbers are.
So 90, scroll back up, please.
Oh, sure.
95% said yes. 4% said no on the vote. So it was ratified, and taken in, so it is going to go into effect.
So not quite unanimous, but nearly.
Yeah, it's always like that. You always get some people that might want something else. They didn't like the wording in the contract, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You usually won't ever get 100% vote on a contract.
And I have to agree, grilling deserves Pepsi. And so, yes, among its key stipulations, the deal provides compounded increases in performer compensation at a rate of 15.17% upon ratification, plus additional 3% increases in November 2025. November 2026 and November 2027. Additionally, the overtime rate maximum for overscale performers will now be based on double scale. The health and retirement contribution rates to the AFTRA retirement fund will now be raised from 16.5% to 17%. So it doesn't seem like a huge raise, but it's good. And then 17.5% in October of 2026. So I mean, yeah, I mean,
it sounds good, and as long as they're getting a fair share on it, and it sounds like they are, they're getting the raises that they want, and hopefully they're take. The main thing is the AI there that companies can't use the AI to generate what they want. They have to actually go to the digital artists or voice actors, whatever the case may be.
So, I mean, it's good that they're finally going to get back to work, and I don't know if this means that games are going to start coming out more, or if they were just hiring people that weren't part of SAG-AFTRA while they could.
They were hiring scabs.
So, is that what they're called? People that cross the picket line, they're called scabs?
Yep, scabs.
Why do they call them that?
There was a meaning behind it, but yeah, anybody that crosses it or goes around the picket line, you will call them a scab. And then they usually associate it with a rat, so you'll see Scabs the rat at some like construction places. That means they're not using union labor; they're using some other like side contracts.
Oh, okay. So, because I know you were part of the union for, what was that car company you work for?
Yes, I am part of the UAW.
Okay.
And we just were on strike 2 years ago for our contract. The companies didn't want to come to the table and talk about it anymore, so we showed them what we were made of. And we were out for a month and a half, and they finally got something going.
So
first it was GM, then it was Ford, and then it was us.
Because I remember watching those videos with you calling people scabs and like those trucks that were trying to go through, like you were able to hold them for like 3 to 5 minutes.
They had semis that were still trying to come into the plant and do some sort of work. Don't know what it was, but either way, you're crossing a picket line. Some of those truckers will be like, I'm not doing it. I'm not crossing that line. Find someone else to do it. They'll drive away. Some of them, like there was one specifically that I was at in the gate. He just tried to like ram right through us. Like he was going in no matter what. And we formed up the line. We circled around and stopped him. And then eventually I talked to him and explained why we're doing it and whatnot. And he totally got it. And he's like, you know what? I get paid by the hour. I don't give a fuck. And left. So, it's a form of, taking back control and getting what you think you deserve and having it in writing so the company can't come back on you.
So it's not really having an entitled attitude, but getting what you are actually entitled to.
Right.
So.
Right. They're making billions off of our back, the manual labor that we put into these cars. And people think, you build a car, you just take this part and you put it on. It's wear and tear on our bodies, like the repetitive motion, the picking up of the parts, the using of the guns, like all this takes a toll on our body. So you're using my body to produce this product and make money off of it. I deserve a certain, amount. I feel, and healthcare, like all that, it's all rolled in there.
Healthcare, health insurance, yeah,
right.
Because I mean, ever since I've known you, you've worked for that same plant, or well, I mean, not the same plant,
same
but
company.
You know what I mean, same company.
Yeah.
And I've heard of you having to have 2 surgeries or 3 surgeries because of it.
I've had quite a few surgeries, and it's just wear and tear on the body.
So. But yep. So yeah. Now that we got sidetracked with that too, but one last story here. Let me. I don't know why it didn't pull up. I clicked it.
Yeah, don't close it. Just leave it up.
I know. I'm so used to doing that.
Yeah,
you know what? We'll just blame Koimia's internet issues or computer issues on everything.
Hey, nope. Nothing on my end.
No, I clicked it down by mistake here. But yes, in the wake of the layoffs, because I didn't remember we talked about this. Xbox laid off like over 10,000 people or almost 10,000 people. But again, I don't think that's Phil. I do not think that's Phil. That has got to be the Phil's boss. The CEO of Microsoft.
That are the shareholders that are running the thing, saying, even in my company where they're like, oh, just pump it up. They'll eventually buy them. And then, we have a surplus of them and we're like, they're not selling right now. Now is not the time to be building like fucking crazy, but they're doing whatever they want to do because they own, so much shares into the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so people have been blaming Phil. I say no, blame the actual CEO of Microsoft. He's the one.
And
but
shareholders,
yeah. In the wake of Xbox layoffs, the founder of Dishonored and Prey, developer Arkane Studios, slams Game Pass, saying, "Why is no one talking about the elephant in the room? At some point, reality has to hit." Now I've read this article and it's basically he's saying that Game Pass is unsustainable, as you see right here. It's a business model that is unsustainable. He founded Dishonored, Prey. I don't know how to say his name. It's Rafael Colantiano? Tonio? Don't ask me. Yeah, we'll say Rafael.
He's one of the Ninja Turtles.
I was just going to say that, actually. Who founded Dishonored and Prey developer, has served as the president before leaving in 2017 to start Weird West maker Wolf Eye Studios. Wolf Eye, huh? Took a social media saying, why is nobody talking about the elephant in the room? Cough, cough, Game Pass.
So how the way Game Pass works, like they have to pay the developer, right, to put it on Game Pass?
Yes.
But I'm sure it's a certain amount, right?
One lump sum.
Right.
And then everybody who has Game Pass can download this game and play it. And basically then, if their subscription, it's kind of like the Plus, where if the subscription expires, they can't access the game anymore.
Right.
But as long as they have the access, they
can always access it, and they only had to pay the one time.
Well, they have to pay their monthly fee, but Microsoft, and that monthly fee is all going to Microsoft, not to the developers of the game.
Okay.
And so, a lot of people are like, and I mean, I've even been guilty for saying it, where it's like, some big title that's like, oh, I want to play this game, but I'll just wait for it to come to Game Pass. I'm not going to pay fucking, $70 for a new game and find out if it sucks or not. Right. So then some people argue that, oh, well, I use Game Pass to test the game, and if I like it, I buy it. And I just go, really? How many people actually
no, you don't
buy the game after testing it on Game Pass? It's like, sure you did. Right.
But they're putting out games that are only on Game Pass, like what was that one? Hellblade and Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, those are only coming to Game Pass a lot of times. So it's like, of course, I know that's probably a business model that they're doing where they're like, hey, here's money, give us the, but.
So they give them like a pittance, and then they take all the rest of the money and profit.
And then on top of that, Microsoft basically has the final say of, okay, we'll have your game on Game Pass for 5 months, and then they can take it off, and then those people who got the game on Game Pass and maybe never, like, if they're like me and have a backlog that's 4,000 gazillion games, never gets around to actually playing the game, and now it's off of Game Pass. Well, fuck it, I'm not going to buy a money game. I'm not going to buy it. I just wanted to try.
So if it goes off, just to clarify, if it goes off Game Pass, even though you've already downloaded it or whatever, you can't play it.
Correct.
Yeah. Right, you can't play it unless you buy it off of Microsoft or you buy a physical copy, and then it's already downloaded. It just lets you continue playing.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's still, because a lot of times things will jump on and off of Game Pass for whatever reason. So when it comes back on, you can start right where you left off, but who knows when or if it's going to come back on.
Okay.
But yeah, it does say here, back in 2021, Xbox boss Phil Spencer countered Game Pass doomsayers, saying, "I know there's a lot of people that like to write that we're burning cash right now for some future pot of gold at the end. Game Pass is very, very sustainable right now as it sits, and it continues to grow." So I wonder, like you were saying, they pay a lump sum to the developer, and then I wonder if, so they pay it to the developer, and then I wonder if the developer gets like a certain amount of money for every,
per download or whatever?
Per download.
That I don't know. I don't know. And Microsoft is so secretive with their numbers. You can't even get a straight number of like how many consoles they've sold now. It's like, they'll just say Xbox has sold, X amount of consoles. Well, it's like, okay, is that the Series X? Is that the S? Is that the the one? And they're just like, yes, like they lump it all under one number, and so I don't think you'll ever see how much they give a developer to get their game, get the developer to go, okay, yeah, we'll put it on Game Pass, and B, if there's anything, for lack of better words, like royalties for every time somebody downloads the game or not.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't necessarily blame Game Pass for their business model on this. It seems like it's a good idea, but I can see where they're coming from, saying that,
Yeah, but he's saying that, scroll up a little bit there. Back in 2001, it seems like we're burning cash right now, and now 3 years later we're laying off a bunch of people. Why are we doing that? Like, you were burning cash and now you're trying to save it, and divert it into other things, whether it be AI or whatever the fuck.
But again, I wonder if Game Pass was more Phil's baby, and then this whole layoff thing, like I said, because it's Microsoft across the board that got the 10,000 layoffs. It wasn't just Xbox.
Yeah, I understand that. But that they're the ones that bought all these companies and promised all these people all the the jobs, and we're gonna do this and this, and then they start canceling games and canceling jobs. Like, well, what are you doing? Where is this money going that you're now saving for? Like,
one of those games was the one that Phil couldn't put down, which was the Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, that one right there, that one start there where it says, he ridiculed Microsoft's insistence that launching games on Game Pass did not impact sales, only to admit the contrary. If you launch, like, for example, Call of Duty on Game Pass, which they did with, what was it, Black Ops 6, nobody's going to go out and fucking buy the game. Unless they don't have a Game Pass or they don't have an Xbox. PS5 people, yeah, they're going to buy the game because they have to. People on PC or Xbox, fuck that. They aren't going to pay $80 for the game when they can just pay $13, play it for a month and never have to play it again.
Right.
Or whatever the Game Pass price is. So of course it's going to affect sales. I don't know why Microsoft, oh no, it's not. Sure it ain't.
Yeah. But yeah. So
the only, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. The only way, in my opinion, for Game Pass to stay sustainable is if Microsoft was to stop making consoles and focus solely on games and Game Pass. And B, they like to say Xbox is everywhere. Make Game Pass truly everywhere. Put it on the fucking Switch. Put it on the PlayStation. Put it on. I mean, it's already on PC. Make it everywhere. They've got it on smart TVs now. I've seen in Game Pass apps on. I don't remember if it was Samsung or something, but there's smart TVs that you can use the controller, the Bluetooth, and just put it everywhere. And then yes, it might be sustainable.
Then you might be able to say it's an Xbox, like they always do.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, yeah. It's too bad Terry had to take off there a little bit early. It's been a really fun show.
A little bit early.
A little bit early, yeah.
We're pushing 3 hours here.
44 minutes over our normal time.
So.
It's going to be fun editing this one.
Yeah.
Hey, you do a really good job of editing it down, though. So, and I know Terry wanted to get a copy of the show so she can send it to her people. So hopefully, people can learn something from that. And everything that she had to say.
Very informative. I love having that conversation with her. And having Looker there. Looker's kind of like us too. Talking about all that. So. Thank you again, Looker, for stopping by and giving us comments and everything.
I learned a lot today. I might have to go to sleep because my head hurts. I learned so much. And she taught us how to stream better, even though she doesn't stream, and we've been doing it for a long time. Now I feel bad.
Like I think she would fit right in with streaming. She says she's scared or whatever, but she could take to it.
We all are.
Water.
We all are.
Always, as Asian Faja says, always disrespect your trolls. It's like let them come in. If the comments they're making are feeding the algorithm, the comments are not just the comments, but the likes, even the dislikes. That's why I like some of the people on YouTube are now going like, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you thought it was trash, hit the dislike. It's like, because that still feeds the algorithm.
Right.
Cool. You hate it? Let everybody know how much you hate it.
Right.
Yeah, but I gotta get going soon too. So
all right. Yep. Well, we'll head on out here. But yeah, we want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. Was there anything else you guys had to add?
Nope.
Are you guys streaming at all anytime soon?
Yes. Do you want to do the one by one? So yeah, I will be streaming more of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Maybe going live tonight. Otherwise, I will be going live tomorrow and for the rest of the week. As soon as I get done with Indiana Jones, I'm actually really excited. I can show this right here. I found a copy of Life is Strange Double Exposure in the stores. I have not been able to actually find a physical copy of this, but I found one. And as soon as I'm done with Indiana Jones, we will be jumping into this. I understand it's a really fun murder mystery, so we'll be doing that. I'll also be playing Oblivion and several other games. Getting ready for some indie games like Little Nightmares 3, Reanimal. I believe there's one coming out really soon. I want to say later this week called Death Relives. That looks really fun. It's an indie game that's going to be on Xbox that I'm going to be playing. Really looking forward to that. And you can always find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/that_Cyclops_guy. You can hang out with me in my Discord, which is also that Cyclops guy. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all under that Cyclops guy. With Facebook, we have the gaming page, which is the Garbage In, Garbage Out podcast. We also have another page on there, Garbage In, Garbage Out, which is a lot of fun where I post a lot of the gaming stories. And yeah, looking forward to it. I usually stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from about 9:30 p.m. to roughly about 12:30 a.m. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And remember, haters gonna hate, gamers got a game.
Dude, I want to find the sound clip from Adam Sandler where he's like, "It's getting a little long," and just play that for you. As far as streaming goes, yeah, I plan on streaming later this week. I'm trying to set something up where I'm going to have a special guest. We'll go into more detail later about that. But as far as tonight, no, I'm not going to be streaming. So Yeah, just check my Twitter page for most up-to-date information.
All right, and yes, I will be streaming tonight. I will be doing a World of Warcraft mythic raiding with a group of people. I usually do. It's 2 groups amalgamated to try and get it done. If I'm not doing that, I might be doing some more mount farming in World of Warcraft that is taking place all this month. There's higher drop rates of mounts and gear for the old dungeons, so I've been really excited about that and rerunning the same dungeon, trying to get this mount invincible that I've wanted for years. So come on by and see if I get it, or watch it on my YouTube. I also play Magic the Gathering Arena on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then for games, I'm kind of open. I completed the Indiana games that Cyclops is playing. So I will look into what I will be playing, yes. And maybe it will be Doki Doki. So you two be quiet. But yep, there it is. Doki Doki. Yep, that's what they want me to play. I have it downloaded. Don't know if I will. But stop on by. It's neo_deth DETH at Twitch and on YouTube's. I hope to see you there.
Butters, go buy World of Warcraft, install it on your computer, and join the online sensation before we all murder you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do that. But Koimiya, if you, instead of doing the Adam Sandler one, it's getting a little long, we do have this one.
I wish you could just shut your big yapper!
There is that one too.
Just saying, we have that one.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, yeah. Thank you everybody for coming and hanging out. Thank everybody for hanging out in the chat here with us. Again, thank you to Borg Queen for coming on and enlightening us. For enlightening, is that the word?
Yes.
Enlightening. Okay.
Yes.
Enlightening us because it sounds like I'm gonna get shocked here. Enlightening us.
Don't speed it up. You might be.
Yeah, I might. But yeah, thank you very much, Borg Queen, for coming and hanging out with us, enlightening us, and hopefully we can have her back on at some point. And remember, like I said, haters gonna hate, and gamers got a game. All right, peace out, everybody.
Laters.
Good night, everybody.